Starting with my coffee late today, 12:30, been up since 5. Should have had my coffee earlier, but I didn't, but I have to have my coffee every day. It's like a requirement. So, really good conversation for today. We're going to be talking about mastering your self-preservation and proximity and basically preventative measures. Has anybody in here heard of preventative measures? Anybody coming in? I'm just getting started. I've only been on the live for 35 seconds now. So, people are coming in, but I think this is a very important topic. I've been thinking about it a lot. Um how preventative measures and self-preservation is an art. It's something that you have to learn. It's something that you have to get better at over time. People can teach you and give you little nuggets here and there about preventative measures. For example, what's a preventative measure? Um, Car insurance is a preventative measure, right? You get car insurance on your car, so God forbid if you get in a car accident, you're covered and you won't go to jail and stuff like that. That's a preventative measure. Locking your door. Those, we have many preventative measures tangibly that we can see, but a lot of men and women they don't have preventative measures in life with what they're doing, their new seasons, where they're going and things like that. So mastering the art of your preventative measures and mastering self-preservation is key to everything it is that you decide to do in this life. So let me give you some examples of that. If you are a successful man or woman, or your goal is to become successful in the future, having a trust is a preventative measure, right? Having a trust fund is a preventative measure. Why? This is the money that I've made during this time in my life working very, very hard. You are not a part of that, but you are here now. However, I'm still going to protect that in spite of you being here right now, which means this percentage of what I built cannot be touched unless it's given to my beneficiaries that I choose to go. And they will get a percentage of what I have. That's a preventative measure. But what happens when you don't have those preventative measures as men or women and you get blindsided? You end up having to pay somebody you're not even with anymore. How many women do we know had to pay off a man during a divorce? How many men do we know had to pay off a woman during a divorce? You have to give somebody a huge chunk of something that they did not work for. And that doesn't just apply to men. There are very successful women as well that have to pay off their ex-husbands. Ask Mary J. Blige. That's why Mary J. Blige looks so tired on stage. And that's no shade to Mary J. Blige. I like her and I like her music. I think she's very talented. But that's why she's tired. She doesn't want to keep doing that all the time. She's tired. She wants to relax. Mary J. Blige has been singing since before I was even born. And she still has to keep going on that stage regardless of how she feels. And people can see in her facial expressions that, she's tired and she may not want to be there, but she didn't take a preventative measure. So she has to keep paying off an ex-husband. Allegedly. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. She has to work hard to keep paying an ex-husband that she left. So he gets to really benefit and eat off of the fruits of her labor. Right? So she didn't take a preventative measure. What causes people to not take preventative measures? Emotion. What causes people to not take preventative measures? You think things are going to be long-term. What's a preventative measure and self-preservation in a friendship? I'm friends with this person. I don't know how long that will be. Therefore, I will not share sensitive information with them. Any information that can cause mass destruction to my life or existence will not be shared with this friend. Why? Because that's my preventative measure. I don't know how long we're going to be friends. So because I don't know that, I'm not going to share certain things. That's a preventative measure. Okay? So as a man and a woman going throughout your life, you have to preserve the abundance and blessing that God brings to you. Okay. And I have a video coming out later about this exact topic. I'm going to speak about Selena a little bit in this exact topic, where Selena reached her blessing, but Selena was not able to preserve her blessing. She reached it. How? The fruits of her labor, right? Selena worked really hard. Selena, I think it's Quintanilla. I apologize if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. Selena Quintanilla or Quintanilla, I think I'm saying it right. She has been performing since she was 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old, and she finally made it big around what age? Like 20. So she only got to enjoy 3 years because there was a lack of preservation of the blessing. So she got the blessing because she worked hard for it, but she didn't get to enjoy the blessing because there was not a preventative measure there, meaning I am here now. I am this person now. I am this singer now. I am this hot singer now, this hot Latin singer now. I can't live my life the same way, right? I can't do the same things. I can't be as accessible as I was before, right? I can't be as open as I was before because I'm not the same person. And the problem is, people try to remain the same person after the blessing comes, but the blessing is going to require you to change. It's going to require changes. Blessings, abundance, and success requires changes. Why? That's why when people get successful, they switch neighborhoods, they switch cars. They no longer go to Planet Fitness. They go to Equinox now. They no longer go to LA Fitness. They go to Lifetime Fitness now. Why? Because what they're pulling up with will cause problems. But when they go to Equinox and Lifetime, those type of people that are similar to them are also there. So because they're also there, they don't see what they're doing as a problem, so they're not going to cause problems. They do private trainings, exactly one-on-ones, because they're not the same person. The problem with people is you elevate, but you stay the same person. Yes, your heart should remain humble, but you're not supposed to elevate and be the same person because you need preventative measures, right? And I'll even go around your egos. I'll even use myself as an example. Massive content creators don't give me a hard time, right? I have mutuals on my TikTok that have some of them have double what I have on TikTok. They're like in the like 500K or whatever, and some of them are in the millions. I have a lot of people from like reality shows and dating shows that are also my mutuals on TikTok, and they don't bother me. They don't shade me. They don't try to go online and say that I'm a grifter. They're not obsessed with seeing me go down because they're successful online too. So why do they need to do that? How does that benefit them? How will that benefit them? They don't care because we're like peers. I'm not some of their peers because a lot of them have more than me, but I'm just saying that they don't feel the need to bother me. If someone's bothering me online, it's usually a content creator that we're not in the similar bracket with certain numbers as far as like following and stuff like that. So that's why they don't bother me. And that's an example of what I'm talking about, where I say preventative measures, you have to part of self-mastery is when you change, the people around you also have to change. When you reach a certain level, you can't be around the same type of people because they're going to not be able to not feel triggered or bothered by where you're at. So I even see that with myself. I never see a major content creator bothering me. It doesn't happen. I have a lot of them as my mutuals. Like, comment. We live hard eyes. You're doing amazing, kisses, hottie. And we leave it there. I never have to worry about subliminal. That's only from people who are not in that number lane that I have to worry about. So that's an example right there. And that always reinforces my mentality of the more I change, the people around me have to change. The more I change, my environment has to change. The more I change, who I communicate with has to change, right? Because the higher you go up, the triangle, it gets very, very narrow because so many things have to change, right? A good example of this is Miracle Watts. Somebody just mentioned Miracle Watts. Can I do a video on Miracle Watts? This is my opinion on the Miracle Watts. I have mixed opinions on this, right? I don't know too much about her and Tyler Lepley, but I'll just give based on what I see. I tend to not go the bat to defend any woman that started talking to a man while that man was already with a woman. I don't know if she did that. That's what the word on the street is. I don't defend women like that. Women tend to think that men are the only ones that will get consequences for what they do. Women think they're immune to consequences, to get back, to karma. Women think they can do whatever they want, but because I'm a woman, it's not going to touch me. That's women's mentality. So men can go around and create all these broken homes and do all these things, and God's going to judge him. But God's not going to judge me for talking to a guy while he was with another girl. And God's not going to judge me for talking to a guy because he was married. Women think the consequences don't apply to them. So that's why I did not run to her defense, because if what they're saying about her was true, and she was talking to this gentleman while he was married or in a relationship or whatever she's dealing with is you're just looking in the mirror. And I think that that's the challenge that a lot of women have. It's okay when you do it to people, but it's not okay when people do it to you. That's how women are. Women will be rude to you, but you can't be rude back. That's their mentality. So if what happened to her was true, if she really did do that, then what's the big deal if another woman does it to you? What's the problem? She's on your moral code. You guys are on the same frequency. So what is the issue? What, people are supposed to feel bad because now you're on the other end? That's not how life works. I'm not saying it's true, but if it's true that she was talking to this gentleman while he was with another lady or married to another lady or whatever, allegedly, if that's true, then what's happening to her now is nothing. It should not be a problem to her, because you're meeting a woman who is your mirror. You guys should be friends because you're the same way. That's the way I see it. I think that women have to understand that whatever you put out in the world, it will come back to you. You are not immune to things because you're a woman. You don't have a higher moral compass than men. Men and women are one and the same. They're the same if they don't evolve. If men and women don't evolve and ascend, they're both going to do, negative things to other people. And I think that sometimes women don't like when I say that, because women want me to tell them that they are very different than men and they have a higher moral compass than men and they're sweeter people than men. I'm not going to tell you that, because that only applies to when you are with men. I judge women based on how they deal with women. I don't judge women based on how they deal with men. When women deal with men, they're their kindest, sweetest, most nurturing selves. I look at how women deal with women. That's their true nature. So how you deal with women is pretty brutal. So that's the real you, not how you deal with men. Okay, so men are brutal with how they deal with women, and they're brutal with how they deal with men. They're just brutal overall, but women are brutal too. Just with the way they deal with women is usually what you're going to use to see the feminine nature. So if that woman was messing around with her husband, oh well, you did the same thing. So I don't see what the problem is. And I think the women online defending it or defending her, I think that's stupid, because if anything, that should be, hey, this is a learning lesson. How you get them is how you lose them. It should be a learning lesson for women to see. You may think you're going to get away with something because you messed up a happy home and you got the guy. In your mind, you think you get away with it, but you're not going to get away with it. Look at Ariana Grande. You do not get to escape your evil deeds. Everything that you do, you will have to pay the price for it at some point. It may not be right away. It may not be that same day or that same year or that same decade. But eventually, whatever you do to others will be done onto you. It's just a matter of time. And when that happens, instead of playing victim, just say, you know what? I did this to a woman before. I broke a happy home before. So, dang, it came right back to me. I guess I'm going to have to just accept it because I did it. But you have to be an evolved, non-narcissistic person to think thoughts like that. So that's that. That's how I feel about that situation. I don't see what the hoopla is. I think that, yeah, I mean, how you get them is how you lose them. That's why it's important to just do things the right way. Men, there are a lot of single men, and if a man is cheating with you, he's going to cheat on you. People's behaviors are going to remain the same. So part of preserving yourself as a woman, in my opinion, and again, I'm only speaking to if it's like you're not a Christian, you're not a believer, whatever. If you're hanging out, spending time with a guy and he has another woman, you should actually be turned off by the thought of him even wanting to be exclusive with you. This is why I sometimes question women's morality and understanding of life. The way I see it is, if you're a woman, you're having fun, you're in the world, you're talking to a man who has a wife or girlfriend or whatever, why would you even want to be committed to somebody like him? You should be like, I don't want you. Please don't leave her, because I don't want you. Because that's already your sign right there that he's no good. So instead of seeing it as, okay, I'll have fun with this, I'll enjoy you, but I don't want you. So please don't break up with her and come and be with me, because I don't want you. You are not exclusive material. You are not relationship material. You are not monogamy material. And I think that women need to be able to spot when a man is not monogamy or boyfriend or husband material, and be able to just tell that and not go into it and be surprised when he does the same thing to you that he did to another woman while he was with you. That's the way I see it. As far as how I feel about the young lady that responded to her and waited until her wedding to say what she said, I always tell women that their happiness is to be protected. If a woman is not evolved, she's always going to be triggered by a woman's happiness, which is why she waited to put out the text messages the day after their wedding, because she wanted to hurt the young lady's feelings and destroy her happy moment and embarrass her online, right? So if women and men don't know about your happy moments, there's really nothing that they can destroy. So if they got married in private on a private island, on a beautiful island, and they put out the marriage picture 6 months after the actual wedding and a caption of "what a time, it was so beautiful," that woman would, even if she wanted to put out those texts, she would say, whoa, they got married 6 months ago, I'm late. It's best to keep people out of the loop. But a lot of times for social media, women want to, the way that I see it, women are in competition with other women. So they try to show social media how happy they are, how much they have, how much their man likes them, how pretty their wedding is. But what you don't understand is all you're doing is causing more women to be attracted to that guy you're with. The more bags that you post that he buys you, the more you post the venue that he paid for, all you're doing is attracting more hungry birds to him. So women think that they're posting all about a guy to make other women jealous. But in reality, you're just creating a bird's nest so all the birds can flop to the nest that sits on that man's head. That's what you don't understand. Men will purposefully encourage a woman to show the world how much he does for her so he can attract more women to him. That's what you don't understand, because a woman wants a provider man. A woman wants a man that's going to buy her whatever she wants. Women are attracted to that. So when a man is encouraging you, yeah, post the purse I got you, babe, post the private jet. And you don't understand that a lot of times he's making you do that so women can slide in his DMs and send him pictures and all types of things so he can have more women to them. This is why I said, what is that saying? You guys, I don't know if the chat stopped. Can somebody comment in the chat on YouTube to let me know if it's still working? I don't know. I feel like it kind of stopped. On TikTok, it's fine. But, it's okay. I see it's popping up. So what I'm saying is, what is that thing where it says women bite their nose to spite their face? It's like a lot of times women think that what they're doing is making other people feel less than them, but you're really just setting yourself up to fail. So what I'm saying is, this person said cuckoo male. Mel, what does that mean? What do you mean by cuckoo male? What does that mean? So what I'm saying is, a lot of times women have to understand the type of man that they're dealing with. If he's a womanizer, he wants you to show off all the things that he's doing for you. And you think he's like, oh my God, my man wants me to just post all the amazing things he does for me. He's so sweet. But in reality, he's like, if she posts all the things I do for her, I will draw more women to me. And women don't have solidarity with women. So women are not thinking about you if they desire to experience your man or get a bag off of him. Like, some of them don't even want him. They just want to get a bag off of him. They just want to get some type of payment from him, a trip to Mexico. You don't even know. Like, sometimes, or exactly, Garden Goddess, it makes him attractive, right? So one thing I'm always telling women to understand is men and women are not the same. Men usually don't do anything that doesn't benefit him. So even him encouraging you to post is not about benefiting you. It's a benefit to him. Men don't do things that don't benefit them, which is why if a woman is already successful and have her life together, she can meet a man who's also successful, and he will spend more on the girl who works at Starbucks than the woman he's dating who's a nurse. Because if he spends money on you and you're a nurse, there's nothing in it for him, because he doesn't get to feel like the superhero. But if he spends money on the Starbucks girl, he feels like the superhero. That's why men tend to spend less the more successful a woman is, because he's not spending to make you happy. He's spending to make himself feel powerful. It's never really about you. So when women see that a woman posts that she was messing around with your husband on the day of your birthday, on the day of your wedding, she's like, oh yeah, I was with him. Like, first of all, she did not do that to expose him. She did that because she was competing with the wife. A lot of times women don't want the man. They want to prove that they're on the same level as the wife or the girlfriend or whatever. They want to feel like they have the same. It's so strange. A lot of times they want to believe, I'm on your level, so I was in his bed. Like, that's what they're doing it for. It's not even because they like the guy like that. And sometimes the guy will think that the girl likes him for real, right? So what happens is, he will mingle with the girl. He will mess with the girl while he has a girlfriend or a wife, because he thinks, oh, she really wants me. But she doesn't want you. She wants your wife or girlfriend, meaning she wants to feel like she's superior to your wife or girlfriend. But you don't know that, because men know women, but not that well. So he thinks, oh, she's really wants me to leave my girl for her because I'm that guy. But then when the main woman says, you know what, you can have him, and you end up with the girl you were messing around with, she's obsessed with your ex. And every time she talks to you, she's talking about your ex. And now you as a guy, you're confused. You're like, why does she keep talking about my ex? My ex left me because I was messing with her. And now that I chose her, I'm in a bed with her, but she keeps bringing up my ex-wife. Why do you care so much about my ex-wife? Then the guy becomes confused, and then he realizes, dang, I should have never left my wife. Dang, I should have never left my girlfriend. This chick is weird. This chick doesn't even like me. I thought that I was that guy. I thought that she was willing to do anything to be with me. And now that I'm with her, it was never about me. She's obsessed with my ex-girlfriend. And now the guy's confused, and now he's too far in, because she's about to walk into the kitchen and show him a positive pregnancy test. So now he's stuck, and now the only one that's really happy is the woman that got away. but not entirely because she has a stalker on her hands. Like, this stuff is a massive puzzle piece, you guys. I don't know, my mind kind of just works that way. Like, I've seen these scenarios so many times. That's why women will go through your entire following list to see if they can connect the dots on when you posted a picture and when a guy posted a picture, and they look at the background and they compare. Like, you always see those pictures on the Shade Room where people connect backgrounds and dates and like, oh, she was out with this guy, or oh, he was out with this girl. Like, people will connect the dots. And then once the women find out, they're like, ooh, I don't like her. Let me see if I can get him. Her man's not safe. And it's like, and the guy usually falls for it. So with Miracle Watts, again, when you constantly like a guy who's like a cheater or whatever is a cheater. Like, there's really, it doesn't matter whether you hide him or not. Ali said that's scary. It is scary, you guys. It is. But men and women need to know this, men included, because although men can think they're just having their fun and sliding off with a woman, another woman here and there, that woman is obsessed with the mother of your children. And you need the mother of your children to stay alive so she can take care of the babies. So men sometimes don't even think about, this lady is like crazy and she's obsessed with my ex-wife, and I married her because my ex-wife got away and I thought we were gonna, be this hot, steamy, fun, sexy couple. And every time we go out, she's going through my, phone, looking at old pictures of my ex-wife. And the whole time you thought that she really liked you, but she didn't. So this is how, can we talk about older church women who envy you? Sure. Um, a lot of the envy that older women have in churches is from male-centeredness, because they feel like their husbands will want you. Have I had my fair share with older women in the church? Not really. When I would go to church, I would sit with my grandma. Um, and we would just chill. And my mother would be like in the choir, and my dad would like be a usher, and my brother would be in the youth section because he's older than me. So I would be with my grandma. I never really dealt with older women in the church on that level. I have seen what they do to other women, but I don't know, like, my grandmother has always raised me to kind of like stay to myself. So there's a lot of experiences that I didn't have to experience because I was taught to just stay away. But older women in the church, sometimes their husbands have had long histories of infidelity. So when a young woman comes into church, they know that you would be their husband's type, and the church isn't very supportive of single women. The married women in the church are not supportive of single women. They always feel like you're going to mess up their marriage. Because a lot of women in church are still possessed. They still have the spirit of jealousy attached to them. They have not been delivered from jealousy yet. A lot of women have to get delivered from jealousy, pastors' wives included. A lot of women have never been delivered from the spirit of jealousy. It runs rampant in their veins. So just because they're in church, it doesn't mean that they won't attack a woman who may be single, or a woman who may be attractive, or a woman, you can be single with kids, and older married women in the church will still give you a hard time, because in the church doesn't preach on jealousy because they don't want to lose members. They don't want to preach on how jealous women and men are in Christian settings because they don't want to lose members. A lot of times churches don't preach on the nitty-gritty because they don't want to lose members. I believe that before any woman is eligible to serve in a church, meaning part of being a church team, she needs to be interviewed. Because a lot of women will run other women out of the church because they bully them in prayer groups and stuff like that. So I believe that they should be interviewed, men and women, before joining any church team, they should be interviewed before. There's a lot of Christian women that have a spirit of jealousy attached to them. You got it bad, ma'am. You got it bad. And you think because you praise and worship that you're hiding it. I see you staring at me from the corner of your eye. You still got it bad. And the problem is, these are the women that are like leading things, which makes it worse. That's why I've never been to any women's group in churches. I don't go to those. The most groups I would go to when I was younger in churches were youth groups. I used to go to youth camp when I was a little girl. 14, I went at 13, 14, 15, 16, all the way till I was 18. There was this youth camp that we would go to. It was so fun. It was like in the middle of the woods. Like we would all like go in this big van, and like it would be like a 4-hour drive. And we would go to church camp, and we would go there, and other churches from all over the states and other parts of the states, we would all meet up at this university that they would shut down. And I would go to church camps. I would go to church camp. That was fun. But I never joined women's groups, because until women are delivered from the spirit of jealousy, they will not be able to correctly lead a group of women. Because anytime a woman is about to succeed, you're going to knock her off her square. They have not been delivered from that spirit. And I know they haven't, because they don't talk about it. So I always opted out of women's groups in churches, because I know what I'm going to get, and I'm simply not interested. It's true, they don't seem to want to talk about what's really happening. No, because they don't want to lose members. No, the men and women need to be interviewed, Danny. That's what I said. The men and women have to be interviewed before. That's a form of preventative measures too, because that's what this live is talking about. How did a man start like touching on a bunch of little boys in the church? Like, who is this man? Did anybody interview this man? Did anybody do a background check on this man? And that's the thing. A lot of times in these churches, people are passive. So they see things and they just don't say anything. They see bullying and they don't say anything. They see disrespect and they don't say anything. I always tell people, being a believer does not mean you don't have critical thinking skills. It doesn't. It doesn't. Being a believer does not mean you're not capable of seeing foolishness in front of you, even if it's in a church house. It is not the absence of your critical thinking skills, which is why a lot of times people sometimes get surprised when I say that I'm a Christian. They can't comprehend it, because they're like, your critical thinking skills are so sharp, because they're so used to meeting believers who don't have critical thinking skills. And they're like blind sheep, and they follow the crowd, and they believe whatever's told to them, and they can't think for themselves. And sometimes people are like, how are you that? Like, you're like the total opposite of them. And I say, well, I do believe in God, and I do have a relationship with God, and he's real, but it doesn't mean that I'm not aware. So older women bullying you into church, it's not really anything new. I think the goal is to not, first of all, don't allow them to disrespect you. That's number one. Church is not an environment where disrespect gets a pass because it's church. So sometimes, because they're older than you, they think that they can disrespect you because they're your elder or whatever. You respect everybody, including elders, but don't let them bully you or talk to you in a way where the aggression that they're feeling, because they feel like you may be their husband's type, they're taking that aggression out by the way they speak to you. This goes back to what I'm saying. When men and women are registering to lead in churches and serve in churches, a lot of women and men have not been delivered to the extent where they can serve in a church and not become a detriment to the members. That's the problem. A woman who has not been delivered from the spirit of jealousy cannot serve in a church, because what she's going to do is give any other woman that comes into the environment that she feels threatened by is a bad experience, and have a negative effect on that woman's salvation. That's where the church hurt thing comes in. It's the same thing with the men. If a man, has a spirit of lust attached to him, and he's, his wife is like on the prayer team, and he's on the media team, and he's flirting with women in the media team, and the wife finds out. Now he's put those women that he's flirting with in danger because of his lack of deliverance. There's a fight, or there's going to be like whatever, right? It's a whole lot of politics. Like, I can't even go into that. It's too much. But I can't those environments, I go in, I sit, I give my tithes, and I leave. Like, I can't deal with all of that. It's just too much. It's too much politics in there for me. Okay. I saw yesterday on the news about a pastor from Georgia who was HIV positive and was having extra relations with a 14-year-old boy. That's nothing new, Violet. That's nothing new. My face stayed in place. That's not new. And he's not the first, and he won't be the last. That ain't nothing new. That ain't nothing new. That's been going on for a while. Those type of scenarios, which is why you train your children. When you go, you keep your children next to you. You don't, that youth pastor thing. I'm not saying I'm against it, but that stuff is dangerous, because when your child is in the youth and stuff, you're not watching them. Yes, I'm on another platform. I'm on this one, TikTok and YouTube. You're not watching your child, so you can't. Because think about it. How would a pastor get near a 14-year-old? Like, how does that even happen? Most likely, the mom, whole other ball game. 8 words. Wait. 8 words. Idolatry. Now, me, I don't believe in that, dropping your kids at the pastor's house and stuff like that. I don't believe in that. You have kids, your kids are with you, and they're to be with you at all times, because you're the parent, and it's your job to protect that child. People start to idolize their pastors and stuff, to the point where you're letting your kids have sleepovers at the pastor's house, and you're letting the pastor pick up your kids from school, and you're dropping your daughter off to the pastor. Like, no, just because somebody's a pastor or a leader, it does not mean that they're delivered, and it does not mean that they're to be trusted. That's just a title. You only know people by their fruit. I don't care about their title. I want to see the fruit. Pastor, deacon, prophetess, apostle, it's all titles. I want to see the fruit. The fruit is the determining factor of you, not your title. But people are obsessed with titles. So because somebody has the title of pastor, you're like, dropping your daughter at their house, and your daughter's having sleepovers, and somebody is like touching on your child, and you don't know until years later. So that boy now, unfortunately, has to deal with a lifelong disease, depending on when he caught it. If he caught it early, of course, they would have time to go to the hospital and give him what is that pill called? The pills to keep the virus from attaching to you. But you usually have to find out that you are sleeping with a positive person. There's like within those like first 3-4 days. After that, it's already starting to create antibodies in the person's body. So that boy now is a 14-year-old boy who's positive at 14. Didn't even get to live his life, because people idolize people in the church, and parents you're more obsessed with your pastor than you are with God, ma'am. That's the problem. Be obsessed with God, not the pastor. You give more time and attention to your pastor than you do to God. You're idolizing the pastor. The pastor is a tool. They are not gods. So now your child has to deal with a lifelong disease. Oh, they met on a dating app? Oh, no. Oh, hell. What? A dating app? What is a 14-year-old doing on a dating app? What? Okay. Uh, it just gets worse and worse. It just sounds like it's getting worse. And he picked up the boy on the boy's street and took him to his house 3 times. And that's a pastor? Who goes to his church? So that's the pastor. Your pastor is that type of person. And you didn't have the discernment to pick up that he's a freak show. Why? Because they don't pray. The minute I notice that a leader or somebody is non-integrous, I get up out of there, because you should be able to pick up on that at some point. A 14-year-old should not be on a dating app. What dating app was it? Which one was it? Was it Grindr? Don't they have, like, aren't you supposed to be 18 to be on a dating app? Or 21 or something? I don't know. Preventative measures. Do not drop your kids to people's houses. Do not leave your kids unattended at church. You have a child, your child is with you during church service, not at the kids' church. I never was allowed to go to kids' church, by the way. My mom and my dad only started letting me go to the youth group. I started going to the youth group when I was 14. My parents never let me go to the child section thing. When I was 14, I started going to youth group. Loved it. And my parents would wait for me right after service, right in front of the youth group. You know, my grandma would come get me, because she didn't want me to go anyways. But she would come get me and my brother. And my mom knew that my parents knew I had my brother. It's older, tall, all that. So they're like, all right, well, he's going to watch her and she's going to watch him. They're going to watch each other. So, yeah, I was in youth group from 14 to 17, I was in youth group. But again, you have to talk to your children. This is why I'm very against encouraging children to be too open, right? So I was not ever going to be the easiest target for anybody that had any weird vibes, because I would always be like, why is this person standing like so close to me? Like, who is this person? Like, very like kind of like this. That's always been how I've been. So even when I would go to youth church, I would go in, I'd say hi to my friends, and we play the little board games, and we play, Uno cards, but I don't want no weird old man or old woman coming up to me, or I'm going to run. I'm going to run. I'm going to open the doors and run like a track star to the big church and go grab my grandmother. That's how I was raised. There ain't no, hey, you want some candy? I would be like, no, thank you. You sure you don't want some Skittles? No. You have to teach your children that people are weird. And if somebody's, being pushy to them, they should be running. Okay? Like when I was 17 in an Uber, preventative measures like we're talking about on this app. When I was 17 in an Uber, guess what? Every time I get into an Uber, I put the location on my phone too, so I can make sure the driver is going in the right direction. And if they make a wrong turn, I'm like, wait, you're getting off the path. It's that way, right? Because I need to make sure that you don't just sit in an Uber and think, oh, this Uber is going to drive me right to my house. No, put the map on your phone. Okay? Put it on your phone. So a 14-year-old, oh my God, he's going to have to just start on his meds. It is what it is. He'll still live a long, healthy life. He just has to make sure that he takes his medication on time. And his parents just have to keep up with giving it to him. If he's infected, I don't know, they got to get him tested. And his parents just have to make sure they're giving it to him. We're in 2026, so the medications are better now. I believe it's like, 1 pill a day now. So I think that, he can still live a normal, happy life. It's just going to wear on him that just happened to him, and it didn't have to happen to him. It happened to him because this guy was strange and he didn't know any better. Like, that didn't have to be his future. And it's like, how did this person be like? Sometimes I think, where are the parents of these children? I don't know if it's because I'm Caribbean. Y'all, I wasn't allowed to go anywhere till I was like 18. Where are the parents of these children? What do you mean a 14-year-old is getting picked up by where is his mom and dad? The images are just popping up in my head. How I can't even imagine what that little boy had to go through on that bed. That's so scary. When I was growing up, even when my dad got me my car, he said he went like this. My dad gave me the keys and he went like this. And I said, what does that mean? He said, oh, actually, he went like this. Work, school, gym, church. Work, school, gym, church. Here. And I'm like, what? He's like, that's only the places I'm permitting you to go. Work, you drive your car to work. You drive your car back. School, you go to school, you come back. Gym, I know you like to work out. Gym, you come back. Church, go to church, you come back. I don't want you to have a whole bunch of friends in your car. Not dealing with that. Underage drinking, not dealing with that. Driving to a party, not dealing with that. Those are the conditions. And I'm like, well, okay. My dad was strict. I have very strict Caribbean parents. So, and now that I'm older, I'm happy they were like that. And honestly, I'm going to be just as strict. Fizz ain't going nowhere unless you're with me. Oh, mommy, there's a teenage party. Okay, what's the address? And what's the dress code? What? What did you say, Mom? What's the dress code? Because I want to make sure that I blend in. Mom, no, you can't come to this teenage party with me. I'm going to be there because I need to make sure that you are safe. Like, I'm going to be I'm going to be embarrassing because I need to make sure that I know what's going on. What's the dress code of the party? Okay, I'm not going to be right next to you. I'm going to let you have your fun. I'm going to be sitting in a lounge somewhere, and I'm going to make sure I get some really nice box braids, and I'm not going to wear any makeup so I can blend in with the teenagers. That's what we're doing. You said you want to go to the party, right? Yes, I do. Okay. I'm letting you go, but there's conditions to that. So I'm going to get the box braids done. I'm not going to wear the makeup. I'm going to wear something baggy. And I'm going to sit on that side of the room and you have fun with your friends. But what I'm not going to do is drop you off to a location. I don't know who's there. I don't know who's up and around there. And then I have to hear something and drive over there and beat a bunch of people up. I'm not going to have time for that. So I'm going to be there. Or if I cannot be there, I'm going to be next door or across the street at some lounge with your father having drinks. And we're going to pop our little head in every 25 minutes to make sure there's no foolishness going on in that party. That's my boundary. And I remember when my parents did that to me one time, I thought they were like crazy. Like, I started to cry. I'm like, you guys are literally ruining my life. And then now that I'm older, I get it. I got invited to a Halloween party. And honey, the outfits were going to be skanky, right? Got the fishnets and everything, right? Halloween party for seniors. Got invited. They rented this whole place. I always say there was a sector of my high school that was literally like Gossip Girl vibes. Like it was like that. It was really like that. They rented a whole place. The guy that rented the whole, like, these are kids who, I hate to say it, a lot of their parents were very wealthy. So their parents were never really home. Their parents were overseas, traveling the world a lot. Their parents were not really home. So they were always throwing house parties and stuff. But for this particular party, they rented a place and I got an invitation. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going. And I'm like getting ready and I asked my mom. My mom's like, yeah, of course, you can go. Yeah. Then my dad, that night, I have on like a little dress. My real outfit is in my backpack. Right? The real outfit is in the backpack, honey. But I have this like little dress on, this like hands-made dress on to look like I'm just being a maid for Halloween, with the real outfit, honey's in the backpack, deep in the bottom, right? So I'm about to get out the door and my dad's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to the senior Halloween party. He said, senior Halloween party? He said, it's 9:00. I'm like, yeah. He's like, shouldn't the party be ending now? I'm like, no, it starts at 11. He said, so you think I'm going to let you go to a party that starts at 11 at 17 years old? Have you lost your mind? Do you pay a bill in this house? I said, he said, you don't give orders in this house though, Mel. That's the thing, because you don't pay bills here. I start crying. I start crying. And my mom's like, I'm going to talk to him. Don't worry. And then they came out, right? They came out with a big smile on their face. And they're like, we're going to let you go. I'm like, oh my God, yay! But we're coming along. I said, oh, no. If you guys have to come, it's okay. I won't go. I'll miss the party. I won't go. If you guys have to be there, it's not happening. I'm 17. Like, that's crazy. I knew that they were messing with me, because why would you tell me that? And they said, well, okay, we'll come. We're not going to go inside. Okay. We're going to check out the spot. We're going to drop you in the front. We're going to let you in. And we're just going to, we're going to circle the neighborhood a little bit. We'll hang out in the car. We'll listen to music until the party's over. You can get back in the car. So now I have this Handmaid's Tale outfit on. And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot walk in there with my Handmaid's Tale outfit because my crush is going to be there. And I wanted to put on my real outfit, And I had to go in there and run to the bathroom and switch my clothes really fast. And then put on my other outfit and have fun and dance and then, Halloween candy, all that. And on my way out, I had to change again. But this time when I changed again, I had the fishnets on. Now I go in the car and my dad's like, I don't remember that being a part of your dress. I'm like, oh, they were just handing these like free fishnet stockings. They were like giving little mini gifts. So I happened to grab that one. And the rest is history. So when I think about stuff like this, I'm like, this is more of a parental problem. What happens to these kids like in churches and like, where are the parents? A 14-year-old boy should not be on a dating app. One, who's checking his phone and who's making sure that he is not on? First of all, a 14-year-old should have a flip phone. You get an iPhone when you turn 18. A 14-year-old is getting a Motorola. Do they still have those? A 14-year-old is getting a Motorola phone. Because what the hell you need all those apps for? You're 14. You need this phone to call me and text me. You give that child a Motorola. If you want to go the extra mile, they can have the smartphone. But the smartphone will be at the house. And they can use it while it's under your supervision. Or if you do give them the app, the Apple ID of the app needs to be on the parent's account so the parent can see what apps are on that phone. Why is a 14-year-old little boy on a dating app? How did he upload his photos to that app? How did he have the money to pay the subscription? The parents are not involved, as they should be. I'm going to check that phone. And I'm going to check the contacts in that phone. And I will be going through those texts when you go to bed. Yes, I will. There's no child who's going to be texting an old predator on my watch. I will check that phone when they go to bed because I don't want to invade their privacy overtly. But when they go to bed, the phone goes in that charger. Oh, well, Mom, I don't want to put... No. Put it in the charger because you don't need your phone while you're in the bed. That's not good for you. And then me and the father will go through those texts and we're going to dig. Your child is sending pictures of her boobs, and the parents don't know. Some strange man that your daughter met at Publix, a 50-year-old man is texting your 15-year-old daughter, and you don't know. Check that phone. Check that phone. Check that phone. Yes. Go through the phone with your husband. Okay? Grab the popcorn and say, what does she text about? Check it. Just start scrolling through her Google history and stuff. Don't touch anything. Leave everything right where you found it so she don't know you went through the phone. But yes, go through your child's phone. They're 14. That's not your phone. That's my phone. I gave it to you. Your phone is the phone that you get when you pay for it. That's my phone because it's under my bill and I get billed for it every month. Call me strict all you want. I don't care. We live in a crazy world. You cannot just allow your kids to just do whatever they want. You need to be watching. A 14-year-old should not be infected with HIV by some strange man that he met on a dating app, because a 14-year-old should not be on a dating app. The only app a 14-year-old should have is the Cartoon Network app, the Disney app. At 14, that's what I was doing at 14. At 14, I was outside playing box ball with my friends. What's up with this generation? At 14, I was online playing Winx and, what's going on with the children? They're a little bit too progressive for me. At 14, I was running to catch the new SpongeBob episode. That's what I was doing at 14. YouTube Kids. That's right. It was a boy with a man. Yes, ma'am. It was a boy with a man. You got to understand, this world is after young children's minds. Okay? The world wants the mind of the youth. It's spiritual warfare. Mom checking my drawer with the white Hanes underwear and yes, children do deserve their privacy, but sometimes you have to be the unpopular parent. You do. Because so many little girls are like 14 texting like 50-year-old men that they met on Facebook. Like some of these men will DM a 15-year-old on Facebook and say, hey, baby, you're so pretty. You're such a pretty girl. What would you like me to buy you? Right? And if the child is very smart, they'll get the package that the guy bought her delivered when the parents are not home, or delivered to the house next door. And because of smartphones, the 14-year-old girl, 15-year-old girl will know when the package got delivered, and she'll go next door and get the package. And your child has all these new things. They're like, where are you getting this? And it's some 60-year-old man on Facebook that's buying that for your daughter. But because you don't check her phone, you must be a hoovering parent. It's not a hoovering parent. It's being a responsible parent. Children are not wise enough to have full freedom yet, because they're still learning. A 14-year-old doesn't know anything yet. It's not hoovering. You don't want to give a child too much freedom. You don't want to give a child too much freedom. It's about being watchful. We need to use our words correctly. Hoovering is a narcissistic tactic, honey. I don't hoover. A parent's job is there to watch the child. Okay? Mel, do you know why older women purposefully bring pedos around preteen girls? Yes, because those older women want to steal their innocence because they're jealous of their youth. They want to steal their innocence. So, youthful women who are youthful have to understand. First of all, being a woman in general, I should have changed the title of this live because I was going to actually, I don't know how I ended up even doing this live on this. Because originally I wanted to do a live on the warfare, the spiritual warfare against women. So, women from the moment they're born, they're going to go through a warfare at the hands of other women in regards to stealing their happiness and youth. So when a woman sees a young girl is young and innocent and doesn't really know anything about men and stuff like that, she will bring a pedo around that girl and encourage him to pursue the young girl as a way to steal her innocence from her. Right? This is why I saw a video of a young lady. She's such a cute young lady. She had a baby bump. She was pregnant, and she was standing in front of the emergency room. And I think she just had an emergency. She was gonna go home. She was waiting on her husband to come get her, and a lady walked by her and said, "Oh wow, you're so pregnant." And she's like, "Yes, I am." She's like, "Oh God, you're going to hate motherhood." And the lady just kept walking. That's spiritual warfare right there. A woman is pregnant with her firstborn, and your first thing to tell her as a woman that walks past her is she's going to hate motherhood. It's all about making a woman's life feel sour and turn sour. That's a lot of times what women want to do to other women, which is where this whole pedo thing comes in. She's young. She probably has not had sex yet. She's new. She's fresh. Let me bring this strange man around her to see if I can change that because I have a lot of mileage. And the fact that she doesn't have mileage, it's annoying me. So I'm going to bring this man around her to change that, to alter that. Mhm. It's jealousy. Yeah, it's jealousy. And I'll give you another example. Another YouTuber that sometimes I like to watch. I haven't watched her that often recently, but I do like her a lot, and that's Kelly Stamps. And Kelly Stamps posted like this video of her getting married, right? Not a video, but she said she got married with no one there. Like that was the name of the video, and I thought it was so cute because she's pushes privacy a lot, which I love. I think women should always be pushing privacy. And she said that when she first got married and she had her engagement ring on, she didn't get married yet. A young lady walked past her and said, "Wow, is that your ring?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then the lady looked at it and she said, "Ugh, they always change after the marriage, girl." And the lady just walked off. And I'm like, why do women do that? Like, why do you want to make another woman feel unhappy during her happy time? It's spiritual warfare on women. It's spiritual warfare on women. This is why I tell women, if you want to remain happy and maintain your happiness, sometimes you just have to just not expose or say anything in order to maintain that happiness. I'm very big on that. Like, she literally told the girl, "You're going to hate being a mother." Every woman has a different opinion on like motherhood, right? Some women like it, some women don't. Some women said they're one and done. But I don't think that you should project. Yes, I love Kelly Stamps. I don't think that you should project that onto another woman, your negative experience, right? So that's why women have to ask themselves, is me sharing this actually necessary? Because sometimes it's not. And then, like, for example, some women who are about to get married will have wife 2028 on their Instagram bio. And when I see that, that tells me a lot. Women in 2026 are using marriage and babies as an aesthetic. They're using marriage and babies as content, right? When you start to use your marriage and children as a form of content or an aesthetic, that tells me, wow, this woman is so obsessed with aesthetics that this cannot even be the best situation for her. But she needs to feel like she's ahead in some way. Keep it to yourself. You're pregnant? Enjoy the 9 months of your pregnancy. Get some sleep. Get a lot of sleep. Pack your, your foods. So when the baby comes, you just get to grab and go. And don't turn that sacred moment into content. I mean, look at what happened to Nara Smith. Another young lady on here, on TikTok, I think I reposted her video. She said, what happened to Nara Smith, that's a spiritual attack. What's happening to her daughter? Somebody was very, very unhappy with her happy family, and they definitely threw, and it landed. And it landed. And it landed. And it landed. You don't want to turn your family into content. No. This person said whitewashing lies. What do you mean by that? So I always tell women all the time, you need to keep your life private. You really do. You never know who's watching. Keep it private. And stay focused. Whenever I see wife 2028, I'm like, oh God, yeah, this woman is turning her love affair like into content. One huge indicator that the person may be narcissistic. The female narcissist is very adamant about proving to the world that she has everything that other women would want. Okay. Female narcissists have to post everything. Okay. Everything, every new bag, every new shoe, every new watch, every new spa visit, every new car, every new man. Because the female I could easily go through a woman's page and tell if she's a narcissist. Yeah. The overt one. The covert one probably won't operate that way. But the overt one, I can easily tell, because it's like, who are you trying to prove that you're so happy to? Like, who are you trying to prove this to? They do it for the gram. So the female narcissist cannot keep things to herself, because keeping things to yourself means that you're enjoying it for what it is. A lot of times the female narcissist can't do that because she has to prove to other women that her life is perfect. So asking her to keep a milestone to herself is like pulling teeth. She cannot keep a milestone to herself because everything she does is to show the world this perfection that's not real. So the female narcissist cannot keep milestones to herself because she doesn't care about the milestone. She cares about how the milestone makes her look. Again, I can easily spot them. Okay. A female realtor documented her whole proposal and marriage. She still keeps posting him for content. So go through a woman's page and see if she posts every single milestone. Another thing I've noticed about the female narcissist is their story they cannot go like a couple days on Instagram without posting on their story. Like they have to post everything. Like that bubble stays on red. It's always red. Like like everything. Breakfast shared, lunch shared, dinner shared, new purse shared, getting my car washed shared, getting my jewelry cleaned shared, my baby's first steps shared. Like that like that bubble is always red. Always. Always. There's no mystery. There is no mystery to the female narcissist. And she's doing all of that. And behind closed doors, she's the meanest, most narcissistic person you'll ever encounter. Everything is getting posted. Everything. They have people videotape them giving poor people money, giving homeless people money. They have people videotape them at the homeless shelter. It's all about appearing like they're a good person. They prostitute their lives. Exactly. I can easily spot one. I get called narcissist all the time. And I'm used to it because the downside is another thing that women confuse with narcissists is women are usually going to say that a confident woman is a female narcissist because women don't like confidence on a woman. So they're always going to say the female narcissist, the confident woman is a female narcissist, but that's not really the case. Confidence does not constitute to narcissism. False confidence constitutes to narcissism. Evidence of false confidence is having to show off your things 24/7 because your confidence is found in your things. Your confidence is not found in who you are. That's the difference. So the female narcissist has to keep posting her things, man, things, because that is what that is their cloak of confidence. Is the materials of what they have. It's not them. That's why when you meet them, they have no personality. They find the confident woman that is off the map and they ride her coattail and steal her personality because deep down inside, all they have is objects. They are empty vessels within. So they fill that emptiness by showing the world that their life is amazing and perfect. Okay? That's how you know you're dealing with a female narcissist. Just go to her Instagram. That bubble, that story bubble, is always going to be red. She will never go days of just chilling. She has to keep showing what she has, what she's doing. Y'all, sometimes I forget I even have an Instagram. And I'm going to start posting on there again. I will. I think I should make use of it, my personal one. But I like to keep my personal life extremely private. I don't like people knowing what I do at 8 a.m., what I do at 10 a.m., what I'm doing at different times of the day. I just like to, when I get offline, I just get off. Like I turn everything off and I just disappear into a book, or I go to the beach and I read a book at the beach. And I just like to, I give what I give to the masses and then I'm done. So the female narcissist, when she gets with a guy, it's going to be hard to keep that relationship private. If a man is a low-key dude and he gets in a relationship with a female narcissist, he'll never be able to be low-key again because she's using her relationship with him as content, right? That's why I saw this post that this woman made on TikTok, and a lot of women and men got offended by it because she said she went out with this guy, and when this guy found out she was a content creator, he was like, oh no, I don't think this is a good match. And it's not because he was jealous that she was a content creator. He said, I don't want my relationship with you to become content. I don't want what we go through to become content. I don't want our love to be content. I don't like that. And he has the right to feel that way. Right? He has the right to be that way and feel that way. So as a result of that, she got mad because, again, the female narcissist, everything is content. So you telling her to keep your bond a secret, she's not going to be able to do that because she wants to show it to the world. Honey, don't post my arm. Don't post my leg. Don't even follow me. Don't even follow me. Like, I don't want anybody in my romantic affairs. Like, please don't even follow me. We could check each other's pages here and there, but don't even follow me, because I just don't like putting myself out there in that way. You know? I don't like, I just don't like that. I feel like that stuff is so sacred. Yeah, getting matcha at 8, like everything is getting posted. Everything. A narcissist is a taker in all forms. When you both pathways, you realize then gave or did nothing you could smile about. I don't really understand that. They only care if you're confident and attractive. That is true. If you're not attractive, they don't care. That's true. That's true. That's really what it is. It's the looks. Looks play a massive role in how people perceive your confidence. So if you're attractive and confident, you're a mean girl. If you're not as attractive and confident, you're an inspiration, right? Because the beauty always has to be villainized in some way. That is true. That's a good point. Even the social media detoxes post the soft launch. Oh God. And it's like the minute they post someone, the problems start. Yeah. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. I think that another thing too, for preventative measures, is not posting your whereabouts throughout the day, like what time you go to your gym, what time, because you don't know if somebody that goes to that gym knows you and knows someone that probably has it out for you, that will possibly show up to your gym or to the place that you get like your nails done and stuff. Like, as an online person, there's so many things I had to stop doing. Like, I used to always post my nails and tag my nail lady just to give her props, so people could go to her to do their nails. I can't do that no more. I can't post where I go do my nails or my nail lady. I can't post any of that, because people can easily, if a pastor stole 7. What do you mean if a pastor stole 7? Why do beautiful women have to suffer for what God blessed us with? Well, it's a gift. So every gift comes with a downside to it, a challenge to it. Even in the church, if a woman is pretty confident and loves God, she's Jezebel. Yeah, I've been called that so many times. Because it's like in people's mind, a Christian woman looks like she woke up on the side of the road. You have to look like you woke up on the side of the road next to a bush. That one loves God. The one on the side of the road with the grass in her hair, oh, she's so Holy Ghost filled. I don't know why. I just don't understand. Why do I have to be on the side of the road for you to believe that I love God? It's so strange, but that's how they feel. The one on the side of the road, that's the one, right? You got to look crazy. Strange. If a pastor stole 7K, okay, you see, Rosemary, that's the problem. Rosemary, that's the problem again. I'm going to open up those can of worms again, ladies and gentlemen. I said it earlier, Rose. I'm going to say it again. Maybe you just got in here. It's not about the pastor stealing $7,000. Why would you give it to him? Is the question. How does a church member allow themselves to give a pastor $7,000? Under what pretenses? A recent popular content creator Nardos got robbed. Oh God. The beautiful women triggers their lust and desire. That's why they say they want you to be overweight as well. You cannot work out or be built. I'm doing my best to navigate through life and not take the hate personal. I can't help wondering how people end up thinking so backwards. And the actual Jezebel is the old lady from Hansel and Gretel. Yeah, that the Jezebel is like the old lady secretary with the big glasses. That's the Jezebel, because she's in there, cursing people. The real Jezebel always has a look to her. And it's not what you think. It's given block glasses. The glasses are like this, okay? She gonna have a pair. Block glasses, preferably in color, red, green, or blue. Block glasses. Step 1, Jezebel's wardrobe. Step 2, she is actually going to be a secretary or in some position where she can get gossip, insider style. So when people start to say, oh, that beautiful woman in the front row, she's a Jezebel. No, it's that secretary with the block blue glasses and the dress up to her ankles and the two cornrow braids. That's her. She's going to be the one starting the problems. And throwing curses on the pastor and their children. That's the Jezebel, honey. Not that lady up there. Right? But when I say it, it's a problem. Honey. Okay. The nurse of the church. Exactly. Who's Nardos? Let me see. Who's that? Who is that? Maybe I'll have another Defeat Jezebel class. That was a really good class. I think I had that like 2 years ago. I had a Defeat Jezebel class, and it was so powerful. It was Jezebel and Leviathan. So what happened to this gentleman? What happened to him? Is he alive? Is he okay? Defeat Jezebel was a powerful class. Maybe I'll do a part 2 towards the end of the year. Jezebel is not the lady with the makeup and stuff on. No. It's a whole other type of woman that's the Jezebel. It's the leader of the church group sometimes. Like, okay, not gonna open up that can of worms. Some tacky floral dress. Yeah, it's usually, she loves pattern. Floral pattern, flowers, light flower patterns, or animal print. Yes, that's her wardrobe. I'm telling you. Okay, those glasses, once you see them glasses, you better run. Okay. Yes, I have the will you do another archetype class? Yes, Star Goddess. Have you not been seeing the advertisements on my community page? Archetype Part 2 masterclass is this Sunday. It's 7. For anybody here who doesn't know, the second archetype class is this Sunday. And then Spiritual Warfare Part 3 is next Sunday. Can somebody put the link to my classes in the TikTok? I don't know how to do it for some reason. I don't know how to do it. Can somebody put the link on TikTok? Let me see if I could put the link on here. I don't know. I never know how to put links on my TikTok. I don't even know how to pin a link on my TikTok. I have to Google that. Okay. I put it there. There's nothing wrong with the floral dress necessarily. It's just the aesthetic of her. We're just telling you. There's nothing wrong. I'm not saying to not buy a floral. I'm just telling you, they always have a look to them. Yes, all of the recording for the old classes are available. Are you guys seeing my advertisements? They go out like every day. All old classes pre-recordings are available. I have classes every month. There's a class. Twice a month I have a class. There's one this Sunday. There's one next Sunday. You get 2 classes. It's $55 for one class. The classes are like 4 hours. If you get 2 classes, they're $75 for that bundle, and you will always have access to the classes after you purchase, because the recordings of it gets uploaded and the members can always go back and take notes. Okay. Oh, it's not. Why? I saw a man. Are you guys talking about a man? The Nardo person I saw is like a rapper. Hold on. Nardos. Oh, I see who that is. Um, Again, when you go online, when I see women posting cars and stuff, I tell women all the time. I think she would post that a lot too. You got to be careful. People are watching you. Yes, you're still able to sign up, Camille. You can sign up until 7 p.m. of the day of the course, which is this Sunday. And if you sign up after that, you may have to end up getting the recording. Floral dresses are nice. It's just their floral dresses. Exactly, Marianne. It's the person that's wearing the floral dress. Thank you, Julene. It's not the floral dress. It's the person wearing it. That and the glasses. She's going to have on a floral dress. She's going to have on block glasses. She's also going to have on flats, but they're going to be pointy flats. They're going to be I'm talking about in religious. This is how she's gonna look. She's gonna have pointy flats. The flats, they have to have a point. And she's gonna make your life a living hell. Hi, welcome to Sun Up Ministry. How are you? She's been plant seeds of lies in everyone's head. And because you're attractive, they're going to say you're the liar. Oh, man. And she's usually going to be very hyperactive in there. Like, she's going to be a part of every team. Like, she's going to be the first one to show up and the last one to leave. It's just, and she's gonna target you and get everyone to think, oh, she wants your husband. Don't you see her? Like, that's her. She's the one. Okay. Oh, it's Archetype part 2 and Spiritual Warfare part 3. Yeah. Right. She's not, beautiful women have always been villainized in society because of the effects they have on other people. So you are usually the villain before you even say anything. Right? Look at what happened to Drea. I'll never forget what they did to Drea. That was like, what they did to Drea was, I still can't believe they called her worthless on national TV because she was beautiful. And she came to the group and she's like, oh my God, let's have fun. Like, she was just being a vibe. And they hated her and villainized her and said, I don't want her around my husband. Like, they literally, it was crazy. Drea is beautiful. Yeah, she is very beautiful. And then when Jackie tried to like fight Drea, like I really like I have a soft spot for Jackie Christie, right? We're a couple days apart. I have a soft spot for Jackie Christie. I really like Jackie Christie. I really do. But Jackie is just extremely crazy sometimes. Like just Jackie She kind of reminds me of myself. No, but Jackie is like, you don't know what Jackie's going to do. That's the thing. And I feel like who was she? Who she had it out for Drea, and then she started to love her and call her her daughter. And then who else? The pastor who took $7,000 from a church member claimed he could buy a car through someone at a dealership. Rosemary. Okay, I'm going to keep reading. The pastor who took $7,000 from a church member claimed he could buy a car through someone at a dealership. 6 months later, the member has no car and no refund. The pastor also has a history of scamming. Now, why would you give a pastor $7,000 to go and buy you a car when you can go and buy yourself a car? Or if he knows someone, you go with him. Oh, I know somebody that could give you a good deal. Cool, I'll come with you. I'll bring the check. You're not supposed to just give like this is that person now has to pay the price of idolatry. When you idolize people, there's a price. That person idolized their pastor. So they gave their pastor $7,000 to go and buy them a car that they never got. And now they are going to pay the price for idolatry. Are you going to be talking to people one-on-one, telling them their archetype, or will it be too much? No. No, you're here to, the classes are for learning purposes. So I'm going to go through every single archetype. It will be the person's responsibility to gather based on the data which archetype they fall under. And based on what they learn about that archetype, they can make it work for them. But this is the second set of archetypes, though. There was a first set, right? So if you're going to do the second class, later on because the classes are always available, you guys. So later on in the year, you can always go back to the first class and take that one too and see, okay, I was these from the second class and I was these from the first class. So you can be more than one archetype. How can you sign up? yourlevelupguru.net. Okay, this person asked a question. If you're new at a job and a female coworker asks you how old you are in a group setting, how would you answer that? I would tell her my age, but she's asking how old you are. Let me see. Jazz, I can't really see your profile picture, my dear. I don't have my glasses. It's really hard for me to see. You look very attractive. It's usually a form of comparison. So if you're very young, she's going to punish you. A lot of times when women ask how old you are, it's because they're like mentally, they need to find out if you're younger than them or if you're older than them. And because you're older than them and you look really good, they'll punish you for that. That's really what that's indicative of. How many archetypes are there in total? A lot. The first class was like, what, 9 or 10? It's a lot, but these are not like the Carl Jung archetypes or anything. This is my set of archetypes I've seen that people possess. Bright star. There are certain ones I'm not going to name, but it's spiritual archetypes. It's a different type of vibe. I do one-on-ones, Camille. I do on my website. Not a scam and pastor. What does this person say? Doug loves something about Jackie. That's like her soulmate. Like I always tell women, all you have to do is be yourself. The guy that likes you, just be yourself. Like you don't have to change anything about yourself for a guy that likes you. Jackie is like one of the craziest people on those shows, and her man is obsessed with her. That just shows you that as a woman, all you have to do is be yourself. Some men like women that are like that. Some men like women that are like that. They like women that are like that because it keeps their it's just fun for them to watch their wife start to spaz out. Like, it's funny for them. Some guys like women that are like that. That's why I tell women all you have to do is be yourself, and the right guy for you will like you. You're never too much for the right person. Yeah, someone can be more than one archetype. You're not just one. Or you can have an archetype trace. I talked about that in the first class, where you have traces of another archetype. You're not fully it, but you have traces of it. No, if a woman looks old, if a woman is older in age, but she still looks very beautiful, that will get you hate too. That's the problem. Like, that will get it, like, because people feel like you should look your age, and you look, or you didn't give up on life based on your age. Like, sometimes I would work at jobs where women in their 60s would come in with heels and people would make fun of them. And I'm like, why are they making fun of her because she's wearing heels? Because they feel like at 60, why are you wearing heels? At 65, why are you wearing heels? Like, there's no age where you can stop wearing heels. There are some women who are 80 who have their mobility. My grandma was wearing heels at 80. She was wearing the kitty cat ones though, but she still had those heels on. She had on her block heels when we went to church. My grandma didn't wear flats to church. She said ladies don't wear flats to social settings. So my grandma would wear block heels, but she's so cute walking in them. She would wear these little block heels, right? But sometimes they feel like because of your age as a man or a woman, you're supposed to give up on life. A coworker asked me my age. I said, don't worry, and smiled. She got angry and continued to badger me with questions. Was I being rude? No, not at all. You were definitely not being rude. Okay. What other questions do I have here? Yes, someone can be more than one archetype. Yes, someone can be more than one. Do you guys have any other questions about this subject? What does it mean? Oh no, my grandma was like 85 years old. She can't wear 6-inch heels at 85. She's gonna hurt herself. She had knee problems at that age from hustling too hard throughout life. My grandma was working, honey, babysitting, you know. She cannot be wearing tall heels at 85. No, she's old. What does it mean if a coworker asks if you date white men? Oh, okay. It's getting juicy, Leilani. That means that you're like polished, and she thinks this type of girl dates white guys. And she'll try to punish you for that too. Yeah, because you got that, you got that to you. So she's asking you that. You got that Olivia Pope going. You got that Olivia Pope vibe to you. You got that you just got that vibe. The Sanaa Lathan. You got it, girl. So that's why she's asking you that, because she knows that you can pull one, or one wants you. Okay. Thank you for what you do. You're welcome, Nayaleti. Yes, Nayaleti, you're right. It's who you are. It's a combination of your gifts and your spiritual makeup, and also it can determine how people react to you. That is right. How should you move? The archetypes is for the class, Diana. How should you move if a cluster B personality becomes hyper fixated with you? Ignore. So if somebody tells you, oh, do you date this? Because it's like, okay, I am going to do a series on the Black women archetypes. on Bronze Babe Survival Tribe. You just gave me an ideal, Leilani. You know, and for any woman who's not a black woman on here, please don't take offense. The reason why I say this is because non-black women are not monoliths, right? White women, Spanish women, Latin women, Asian women, like you're allowed to have different varieties of you. Black women are considered monoliths. So you are Medea. There's only one type and that's it. Not understanding that doesn't make any sense. There's so many different variations of black women, right? So what they do is they put you in that one box and you're not allowed to move out of it. So the reason she asked you that is because of the type of black woman you fall under. You may be the girl next door. You may be giving girl next door. Like Beyonce gives girl next door. You may be giving a little urban, not urban, but like unique, kind of like how Rihanna was when she was like younger and she first came out with like the black hair and the black nails and like the rocker type. Like there's so many different variations of black women, but they don't see it that way. I'm gonna go through the black women archetypes on my Bronze Babe Survival Tribe. I think it's a good thing to know. Because you can, it's like that thing that went on TikTok where they said the bubbly black girl gets punished. That's the archetype of black women, like the bubbly black, like Tamara Mowry, when her sister says she's a valley girl, right? There's different types of, and then you got the Chrissy Lampkins. Love Chrissy Lampkin. She's beautiful. You got the Chrissy Lampkins who are like beautiful with like the big hair and, you know, the curvaceous and, you know, strong personality, you know, but she's still classy with it. And that's the archetype right there. You know, Chrissy Lampkin is like the, I don't know, but Chrissy Lampkin is that girl. Like she's beautiful. Oh God, Chrissy just gives aura. I don't know. Like she's always stood out to me, Chrissy Lampkin. Like everything, you know, and she's a real friend, right? Like she is just, that's the archetype of black women right there. You know, there's different kinds. And then you got the Olivia Popes or the Kerry Washingtons. I feel like Kerry Washington is Olivia Pope in real life. I'm just, there's really not much of a difference. They're the same archetype of woman. In my personal opinion, you got the Kerry Washingtons. And then you have the, there's just so many different variations. That's the thing. There's so many different variations. Love Kerry Washington. I have a question. What does it mean when white people and black people think that I come from a rich background? Maybe it's the way you carry yourself. Sanaa Lathan is beautiful. She falls in the fit and feminine category. That could be it too. I have a question. What is it? Okay, I answered that. What if it's close family that's being weird towards you? I have to be around them at some point or speak to them at some point. They'll talk to my children, but not me. Anyone who doesn't like you should not be talking to your children. Yeah, Solange Knowles is more of like the artsy, clean girl, like black girl, where she's more into art. She's more like off the grid. She's too busy painting with her pretty, you know, Fulani braids and a bun, probably wearing a white linen set with no makeup and short nails, painting or, you know, drawing. Like that's the archetype of, but they don't really give black women the space to know that we're not all a monolith. Like we're all different. You know, we're all different, you know. Foxy Brown, more of the Jamaican it girl type of vibe. She's not Jamaican. I know she's not Jamaican, but more of that it girl rapper, still hot, still that girl, still wants to be bedazzled, still wants the bedazzled bag, but she still has that, you know, that thug side to her. Like there's so many different there's so many different types of black women, but they only put you in one category. That's the problem, you know? Mel is the Olivia Pope black woman to me. It's so funny. I get Olivia Pope and what's the lady's name from Beauty and Black? I get her, or I get um what's the one that was a video girl? Melissa Forbes. I kind of like get those a lot. Love Foxy Brown. Love Foxy. Take it easy on Foxy. Love Foxy Brown. Um Bronze Babe is on Patreon. That's on Patreon. So a lot of times when people ask you a question, there's more to the question. So if a woman's like, how old are you? A lot of times it's either she's trying to put on her mental scale, she's trying to decide where to put you. Okay, she's younger than me, she's more youthful, she has more time in life, some invisible time. Okay. Or, oh, she's older than me, but she looks really good. So like it's a way to kind of like compare. Pay attention to the question that they ask you. If a woman asks you, oh, do you date white guys? And you're like a black woman, a lot of times it's because your polish is just top tier, that they feel like that's what you would date or who you would date. You know, you're right on point. Black women aren't allowed to be anything but one thing. As a teenage girl, how should I move around a first lady who's jealous? Oh God, not the first ladies again. Not the first ladies again. God. Not the first ladies again. Here we go. As a teenage girl, how should I move around a first lady who is jealous of me? Imagine being a first lady being jealous of a teenager. And these are the women in church that are laying hands on people. These are the women that are supposed to be praying for you. Be careful who you have put their hand on your head. As a teenage girl, how should I move around a first lady who is jealous of me and treats me weirdly, but has told me that God gave her a prophecy about how I will do great things one day? It doesn't, how she acts towards you does not discredit the prophecy. And it's because of the prophecy that she saw that she's probably jealous of you. That's the problem when people are anointed, but they don't have the maturity to carry their anointing. A lot of pastors, not pastors, if somebody has the gift of prophecy, I hate to go there, but I'll say it. A lot of people are prophetic, or they're a prophetess, a female prophet, or a prophet, a male prophet. They don't have the maturity to go out there in the world and be prophesying on anybody. Because if the vision that God shows you about that person shows them getting farther to you in life, and you have a spirit of jealousy attached to you, you are going to punish that person for what God allowed you to see. This is why I say a lot of people in church have no business being on pulpits, because you're not mature enough to be on a pulpit guiding people. You still have the spirit of jealousy attached to you. Anybody with a spirit of jealousy will turn into a Saul, which is why when Saul found out who David was, he tried to hunt him down. That's why there are certain people, God doesn't give you a prophecy on that person. God keeps that person hidden because he knows you're gonna do damage if you find out. So she may have the gift, but she's definitely not mature enough to maintain it. Because what she saw is probably you're going to be farther than her when you're her age, and because she has not been delivered by the spirit of jealousy, she is punishing you for a prophecy that is to come. Many leaders have the spirit of jealousy. They're not going to admit it, but I see it all the time. That's why after they give people prophecies, they start acting weird. Or they see a prophecy about you, but they don't say it because it's so grand that it made them feel so jealous that they don't want to tell you about it because they don't want to give you any hope. That's why I tell people all the time, I know God for myself. I don't have to go through a middleman. I'm not saying that God can't speak through other people to get the word to me. He's done that several times in my life, but I'm going to go to God and get the answers myself as well. Because you don't know if people even have the maturity for a lot of things. Is there a way to contact you for a possible opportunity I think you'd be perfect for? I'm not really taking any collaborations or anything like that, but I do appreciate the pitch. Um, Unfortunately, I lost my your virginity at 14. When they sneak, it can happen, but a boy, okay, I don't really understand that. Not all prophets are pastors. Most prophets are not pastors. As a matter of fact, a lot of prophets and pastors can't get along because the prophet is very, they don't really, they cannot be boxed in. And that makes the pastors feel insecure because they can't really, prophets don't really follow, they let the spirit lead everything. They're not as cut and dry. And they don't like that. So what they do is they try to control them. A lot of famous prophets are wizards and witches. So their meanness a lot of times is stemming from that. They're not really operating by God's spirit. They're operating by another spirit. And if you are actually from God, they're never going to like you. So I don't trust everybody who calls themselves prophet. I don't run chase after them because I'll have to take my time and see what my spirit says about you. Because anybody can label themselves whatever they want to label themselves. It doesn't make it true. So, yep, pastors are more social constructs, prophets are more spiritual. Exactly. That's another reason why some people can actually be a prophet and still be called a witch or a warlock, because the church is not used to you not being so cut and dry. They're not used to new type of teachings. They're not used to that. So they will label you. So going in there is just going to put a cap on you. Very true. She is going to fight her star. She will attach herself to the young lady. Happened to all the churches I went to. The Lord revealed to me some of them being jealous. Church people are very jealous. Very, very jealous. Very, very jealous. Not all, but they're very jealous. You kind of have to know these things. Why would a manager complain about doing something you were skilled at and deny you doing it? I don't get it. What do you mean? Like you did something and they said that you didn't really do it? Is that what you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? How can I be sure about my archetype? Look at the descriptions of it and compare it to yourself and your life experiences. Yeah, I mean, giving a pastor $7,000, that's all idolatry. That's all and let me guess. Let me guess. Was it a black church? You know, and when I say that, again, I'm Caribbean. And Caribbean churches, they will come to your house after church and eat your whole fridge every Sunday. So that's not me shading. That's not me shading. Where the archetypes, it's a class. It's a class, Just. It's a class. The first class was in the past. The second class is this Sunday. Let me guess. It was a black church or a Caribbean church. Let me tell you, and this is coming from a Caribbean woman. Caribbean people don't have boundaries. So if you go to a Caribbean church, you're going to be there for 6 hours. And number two, the pastor is going to come to your house with about 55 other people, and they're going to eat all your food, all of it. They're going to eat your whole fridge and drink all your juice and eat all the fruit snacks. And then they're going to tell you, God showed me a vision that he wants you to give me your television. He wants me to give you your He wants you to give me your television. If you give me your television, God's gonna bless this house because you respected the man of God, right? Oh, the manipulation is insanity, sir. If you don't get out of my house and fast, I'm not giving you my TV. I don't need to give you my TV. And then when you start acting like that, they say you're from the kingdom of darkness. It's very manipulative. When I was a little girl, I remember them coming to my parents' house and they ate the whole fridge. Like, I remember being a little girl, after service, I would go and open the fridge and it was empty. My fruit snacks were gone. My Capri Suns were gone. My Welch's were gone. My applesauce was gone, y'all. My what was it? Go-Gurt? Not yogurt. There was another type of Go-Gurt. My Go-Gurt was gone, y'all. Everything. They ate all my stuff. The fridge was empty. And then my parents had to go and buy $200 worth of groceries to refill the whole fridge. And then it got to a point where my grandma, when they came, my grandma said, we're not feeding anybody anymore because we're not going to go bankrupt off of this. Every Sunday, empty fridge? Oh, hell no. Back then, life was different. So my grandma told my parents, you guys are going to have to stop hosting this because they don't even have the decency to give you a gift card of $100 to replace all the groceries they just ate. It's just, y'all, my fruit snacks were gone. My Go-Gurt, everything was just, and I always felt like that wasn't right. That wasn't the right thing to do. But if you come from a Caribbean church, that's what they're going to do. That's how Caribbean churches operate. So, it's a lot of audacity in those environments. That's why a lot of times when I go to Caribbean churches, if I visit a Caribbean church or African church or a Black church, if I ever visit those churches, I put a lot of boundaries with them from the moment I walk in the door, because you are not in charge of me. I'm in charge of me. So the minute they start to overstep, I stop them immediately because I'm not brainwashed. If I want to talk to God and hear from him, all I have to do is go home to access him and talk to him. That's all I got to do. Right? Hold on, you guys. 1 second. Hold on. No, I'm still on live right now. Yeah. You okay? Are you okay? Okay. Okay. Bye-bye. A lot of prophets automatically think they're pastors because of their gifts. A lot of prophets think they're pastors because of their gifts, but don't have the skill or patience to pastor people. Any prophet that thinks they're a pastor is highly confused. And any real prophet doesn't even want to be a pastor, because they're not made up to do that. Pastors are there to shepherd people. They don't have the same characteristics. Again, it goes back to archetypes. The pastor has the characteristics to cater to the sheep, and the prophets are not for that. They're there to go into places, deliver the word, call out the discrepancies, tear down, rebuild, leave, and do the next thing. So real prophets don't want to be pastors. They don't want to do that. That's not their ministry. If anything, it's the other way around, where they want to be the prophet, because the prophet will usually bring in more crowds because of the miracles. That prophets do a lot of miracles, and they hear a lot, and God takes them to the future, to the past. It's a very strong gift, and a lot of them are very jealous of it. So anybody who's a true prophet don't want to be a pastor. No, they're not made up. That's, you said it right there. They don't have the patience. No, they're not created to sit there and constantly feed a herd. They're not made up for that. They move fast. They move fast. Boom, boom, boom. That's how prophets move. So I think the way that you're constructing that, it's almost like you're talking down on the prophet. They don't have that patience to pastor people because they're not pastors. People keep getting the two confused. Prophets is not a pastor. They're two completely different types of people. If anything, Pastors tend to not want prophets to come around, because when the prophet comes to their church, because of the amount of yokes that break when they leave, people want to follow the prophet out to wherever the prophet goes. The prophet also has that bright star archetype where they bring in a lot of crowds and people want to follow them around because all of their gifts and their insight to see the future. So the pastors actually get jealous, in my opinion. So they resort to doing that, where they're like, oh, well, you're not skilled, you're not patient. Yeah, they're not there to steward herds. That's not what they're made to do. That's what you're made to do. And everybody is made to do something specific. So there's no reason to be jealous of anybody. But I've seen this stuff play out before. I think that prophets and pastors, it's usually a lot of this. It's not supposed to be that way, but it's because the pastors get very intimidated by the prophet and they want to control the prophet, but that's not their job, because they're jealous of all the type of access. The prophet is God's best friend. So they get a lot of access, and the pastor is just a lot of, they're not going to admit it, but I'm always going to tell the truth. Most pastors usually do not like prophets. They feel highly intimidated by them. And when one comes to their church, they're going to run them out. So prophets usually do their own thing. They have their own ministry. They go city to city, state to state. They do their own thing. Prophets don't do groups. They don't work that way. Prophets don't do groups. They can't do groups because it's going to stagnate how they flow. So prophets have their own ministries that they do, and of course, pastors start to get jealous and they start to say, oh, where's your covering? Who do you report to? They're obsessed with control because they can't draw in the same crowds. Not understanding that the prophet's not purposefully trying to draw in their own crowd. They naturally draw in crowds because of that bright star archetype that's connected to them. Everywhere they go, people follow. But the problem is, everywhere they go, warlocks follow them. Witches want to destroy them, because prophets are there to destroy that kingdom, and they don't like that. If somebody puts some type of juju on you, the prophet is going to break it. So that's why they attract a lot of Jezebels that want to come in their life and spew curses on them. So prophets are not supposed to be allowing many people close to them. That's not how it works. Okay? Many pastors who have the prophetic gift have never helped me. They'll never reveal that I have a great star in destiny. They would never, but you don't need them to help you get there. You help yourself get there. You talk to God yourself. You develop your relationship with God yourself. You don't need to go through another person to help you get anywhere. Okay? Or they ate everything in the pantry. I ate everything in my pantry. I lost everything in my pantry. Okay. I had to clock that, because a lot of time people try to make prophets feel like something's wrong with them, when in reality, a lot of them are jealous of them. So they have to pick them apart. Oh, well, you're not this. Well, you're not They're not there to steward the sheep, my dear. That's your job. They're there to come and deliver the word and say what's wrong and give out the message so something new can be rebuilt. The stewardship, that's you. But when you see them, you want what they have instead. So then you get jealous and you start picking them apart. Pastors and prophets usually don't get along. Pastors, it's not the prophet that can't get along with the pastor. The pastor can't get along with the prophet because they want to control them. Okay? I'm telling you, I have a lot of experience. I know this stuff. A prophet going to speak and leave. Exactly. That's it. They're not there to be part of groups or anything like that. They're not for that. They're disruptors and truth tellers. They're not there to be a part of your group or be under your wing or be controlled by you. It's not going to happen. Okay? And they really don't like people around them. Okay? The real ones don't want people around them. I'm sorry. They don't like people like that. They do what they do because they have to, but the persecution that they have to deal with at the hands of people, it's too much. So they start to not really like people like that. They do their job and they get out. They speak the word and they leave, and they want to be left alone after. But then the pastors start hunting them down because of the jealousy. Okay? What is this person saying? You didn't play your part. You wasn't there for 6 days. I don't know what this person is talking about. Okay, let me get this person out of here. This person has like some type of psychosis thing going on here. You guys have to understand, although I'm an internet person, I'm not here to be a recipient of your shenanigans. I'm not here for that. Like I'm very big on protecting myself. Like you coming in here with all that stuff, it's what you don't need to do that. There's this person in here that's saying all these things. It's like the obsession. Like people see people online and they become obsessed with them. And they believe that you're supposed to entertain their obsession. It's not happening. I feel bad, but I notice prophets don't know how to preach much. I think they're great preachers. Yeah, I blocked that person. I had a friend that I would always show up for, but she would never do it in return. My birthday passing an important exam, it was like she refused to celebrate me. Okay, well, just move on. She can't handle your progression. Yeah. You can't handle your progression. That's okay. You know? That's the thing. I always tell you guys that I am a truth teller, okay? I'm a truth teller. And I see past people's shenanigans. I don't go with what's popular. That's not what I'm here for. I go for the reality of things and then I get off. If you're looking for someone that's going to co-sign what's popular, I don't do that. I don't co-sign what's popular. I don't do groups. I don't care how many people doesn't like that person. They didn't do anything to me. I will not be a part of your hive. I'm not going to do that. I speak about the real of what I see. That's why I had to stop that commenter, because people like to try to pick apart what they feel like they can't amount up to, or they shouldn't be trying to amount up to, because that's not them. That's why, I don't know her personally. I'm not like shouting her out. Again, I don't know her personally. This is not somebody that I'm pushing on anyone, but I do feel like that's why they bully Tiffany Montgomery. Because if she really is a prophet, or whatever the case may be, she didn't need to go through a pastor to build such a large ministry. And that's what they're jealous of. It's her ability to draw in crowds. Part of their archetype is the bright star. They draw in a lot of people because the minute they talk, the minute they open their mouth, it's like this anointing on their voice where people just are like, ooh, what's next? What's the next word? And they're very jealous of that. So what they do is they try to pick her apart and say, you need a covering and all this nonsense that they say, because they're just jealous that they can't do what she does or draw in what she draws in. That's really where it's coming from. So I know how that stuff works. So my manager was complaining that she will have to do social media now. Coworker is leaving. Okay. I have graphic design background and offered, and she said, no, it's okay. I'll do it. So why complain? No, that she wasn't complaining. She just wanted to show you that I know you do social media and I know you like it, but I'm not going to let you do it. I'm going to do it myself. So that was a jab. That wasn't her complaining. That was her way of letting you know that I know you would like to do this, but I'm going to do it myself. Okay. Thank you, Mayana. I'm happy you liked the class. The classes are really good. I had a friend who didn't invite me to her wedding. Okay. I felt so bad and angry. No value and consideration. Well, were you her friend, or was she your friend, or were you hers? Can chosen ones find happiness? Absolutely. When you start detaching from the 3D, it is exhausting. It is exhausting. But that's why you have to find your peace, and a lot of healthy daydreaming helps. you know? People are always going to attack what's powerful. That's just what it is. That's just how it is. Can you do health videos? I will be doing health videos on Lifestyle Health Haven. I will. I will be doing, gonna be doing so many things. Like these next 4 months, my foot has to be on the gas like never before. I'm giving myself 4 months to wrap up so many different projects. I'm never invited to weddings. You're not missing out on nothing. And if anybody didn't invite you to a wedding, it's because they don't consider you a friend. Yeah, the person spamming the chat, I just remove them. It's just somebody that wants attention. Can you talk about the Marilyn Monroe archetype where people are obsessed with your physical body? Well, I already spoke about it so much in the video. I did a 25-minute video on it. I don't really want to open up that can of worms again. But yeah, you just, if that's your archetype, you just don't let people touch you without your consent. Prophets are never liked. Never. Lots of jealousy. Yeah, maybe you were her friend and she wasn't yours. And that's why you got to ask yourself, am I this person's friend? And are they also my friend? Is it reciprocity? Mel, how do you get used to or start liking solitude? I love solitude. It's so peaceful. That peace, that quietness, that people not knowing what you're doing, not being disrupted and interrupted. It's so marvelous. It's marvelous. It's marvelous. Yes. Thank you, Sean. Yes, all the classes are pre-recorded. The recordings are available. Thank you. Mel, all your videos are great. They help me a lot throughout my life. Oh, thank you. Do you think Machiavellianism is a healthy route for chosen ones? Well, there are certain traits. I think the Machiavellian knows how people operate at such a deep level that they're able to successfully manipulate people. You want to leave the manipulating people out of it, but you definitely want to know how people are. Do you think moving out of family's home will bring peace? Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes. Of course. It would definitely bring peace to you. It's quiet, it's that quietness, and you can go out here and there, and have your connections here and there. But the solitude is how you start to build other things. Yeah. If somebody doesn't invite you to their wedding, it could mean many different things. Maybe their spouse didn't want you there. Maybe they felt like you weren't supportive, or maybe they wanted to embarrass. Like, there's so many reasons. I don't believe that if someone's truly close with someone, they would not invite them to their wedding. You would be the first person to get invited. How do prophets deal with a Jezebel mother? Every prophet usually has a hyper narcissistic parent, or both parents are narcissists, because the Jezebel spirit is their biggest enemy. You got to look out for Jezebel. What type of presence or energy do you have if you're continuously complimented, admired, praised, and seen, but never give chances for professional success? So that's not a presence or energy that you have. That's a spirit. That's called the spirit of almost. So people lead you on and gas you up about something they're going to do for you, and then they never do it. They never fall through. That's the almost spirit. You have to pray against the spirit of almost. And you have to pray against anything that may be veiling your face where people can see you, but they can't really see you, meaning they don't actually extend opportunities to you. Women who go out on dates and men tell you how amazing you are, how beautiful you are, how perfect you are, how wonderful you are, but they go and date a woman that's half of you, that's also the spirit of almost. So you have to pray against that. People attack my solitude. They assume I'm unhappy or broken. Because a lot of people don't know how to be alone. So when someone's alone, they think something's wrong with you. What is a Jezebel? A Jezebel is, well, she was in the Bible. She was hunting. She was really a prophet hunter and a control freak. Very manipulative, narcissistic, sociopathic, misusing power, manipulation, lies, and schemes. She wanted to be God, right? People tend to prefer smaller weddings. I think small weddings are a beautiful ideal, because that way you don't have to be spending money on plates and silverware on random people that you really don't care about, right? You get to invite the people you actually want to be there. Or you could just not have anybody there, and your ceremony is just you and your person and the what do you call that? The officiant. You don't have to follow trends. You can create your own trend. You don't have to do the big wedding if you don't want to. You know, never feel like you have to do the big wedding. You don't have to do the big wedding if you don't want to. You can do something smaller and still have a wonderful time and invite 1 to 2 people or 3 or 4 or 5 people and then go out to eat after. It doesn't have to be something big if you don't want it to be something big. And if you want to do something big, you can do something. I think eloping is beautiful. Imagine if instead of all the money you were going to spend on the wedding, you go and you get married in Italy. Like, you do the courthouse and stuff here in the States, but then you go and you get married in Italy, like a beautiful Colosseum or something like that. And you guys get to go and like have dinner on the water, you know, like in the middle of the beautiful ocean in Italy. Like, I am one of those people where I prefer spending money on experiences as opposed to spending money to have people see something. Right? I feel like actual wedding ceremonies is to make people, like, you're not really throwing the wedding for you. You're throwing your wedding for the guests. That's the way that I see weddings. It's for the guests. It's not necessarily for you. That's just my personal opinion on weddings. So if you like that and stuff, that's fine. But I think small, intimate, like micro weddings are very cute. Or going eloping, that's so cute. Like picking your favorite country. And then you get to stay there after the wedding and stuff. And, you know, eat and, you know, go sightseeing. For me, I rather spend money on experiences than spending money to make people see my life in like a perfected way, if that makes sense. Like, I'm never interested in like proving something to people, if that makes sense. That's why I'm such a private person, because it's like, why do I have to prove anything to you? Like, who are you? Like, that's always been the mentality that I've had, which is why a lot of milestones that I make, most people do not even know that I make them. I make them behind the scenes. They have no clue, because I'm not making the milestone for you. The milestone is for me. That's the way I see it. So when you're doing these weddings, because you're putting a bunch of other people in it, the planning is draining. You pay for people's plates sometimes. They don't show up a lot of times. They show up late. People start dropping the week before. It's very expensive. The bridal party, like, you have these group chats with the whole bridal party, and I forgot my dress, or it's for me, it's too much. That's too much. That's too much. Yeah. I'm a professional who loves my career and performs well at work. A coworker warned me my boss is trying to come after me. Ooh, despite my performance, how should I move forward, Sean? You got to start applying to get a new job. You can't wait. Because you got to understand, once management has a problem with you, it's out of your hands because it's management. So what I would do is I would pull up my Indeed account real quick, dust off my resume, and start applying like never before, at least 10 applications a day until you find another role. Because your boss, okay, what's going on with you, Sean? You can Google this if you want. It's called pet to threat. You can Google that phenomenon and read about it. It's called pet to threat. So at first you were the pet, now you're the threat. Meaning at first you were like, you just started the job, they didn't have to worry about you. But when they saw how well you work, now you're a threat. Although you don't think you are, but that is how your boss is viewing you now. So it's called pet to threat. So once you go from pet to threat, now that they see how well you're working, they're going to sabotage you to get you out because they don't want you to overpower their work ethic and their work presence. So here's how I feel about corporate America. Anytime somebody's in corporate America, your resume should always be active. Yeah, always. Sometimes you just got to start applying to jobs just because, because the goal is to keep rotating until you find the best opportunities. If you know you work well, corporate America is more for people who are more sheep-like in nature. People who work well in corporate usually will get punished. And it looks like, Sean, you're African American. So African American don't get intelligence privilege. They get intelligent punishment in corporate spaces. So the more capable you show you are, the more threatened people get. So you have to just start applying. That's what I would do, and start applying fast too. Start using some vacation days to stay home and apply. What do you do with women who are desperate to have your partner? Oh no. And are obsessed with becoming his mistress, even though he's denied them multiple times. Well, he's denied them multiple times. So that's all you have to worry about. You have a solid man who has denied their advances, who knows that they just want to be with him to mess with you. Yeah, corporate America is like it's like you can be good at your job, but not too good. Like those type of environments are tricky. Maybe I'll have another class on corporate America, the nature behind corporate America. I'll probably have a class on that because my last class was corporate Spartan, which was more like the strings of corporate America and like more of the HR side. But maybe I may have a class on corporate nature. Corporate America doesn't really reward hard workers. They don't reward unique people. They don't reward people. Corporate America, in my opinion, is a big truck of lies, and I'm going to tell you why. They make you take all of these trainings on working well, anti-racism trainings, healthy workspace trainings, anti-bullying trainings. They make you take all these trainings so they're in the clear with these corporate boards. But when you go into corporate America, they do all the things that their trainings are against. Like, they're liars. That environment is full of liars, and the whole structure is a lie. So you have to really don't overdo it in corporate. Go there, do your job, and leave. If you overdo it, corporate America does not reward you overdoing it. That actually starts to bother them, especially if you start to find new methods, better methods. And if you're a minority, like you're African American or you're Latina or you're Asian, they tend to want you to stay in your place. In those environments, don't be showing out how smart you are. No, in those environments, it's very, very, corporate America is very, very racist. And it's not even just towards African Americans, it's towards any minority in corporate America. And then aside from that, they don't want you to be the best. And those environments have a ceiling on it. It's weird. But you can be good, but not too good. Like those environments it's like I'll probably do a class on the nature of corporate America. It's not what people think. Because when I see people coming into corporate, they're like, well, I'm going to work hard and and I always tell them, working hard in corporate will get you fired, ma'am. Sir, overdoing it in corporate will get you fired. It's a lot of psychological mind games in corporate. Okay, they are liars. So it's like, when people are in corporate, I tell them, first of all, it's all about relations. If you want to move up the ladder, it's not even about how you work, it's about who you know. The person that works the best is who gets stuck training people. The hardest worker in corporate America is going to be stuck training people and pick up shifts that nobody wants and picking up the dirty jobs that nobody wants. Corporate America rewards and promotes based on likability 9 times out of 10. So if you are, in a woman's case, sleeping with the right man, or if you, in the man's case, are cool with the right man in the corporate setting, you're going to get rewarded above the hard worker. Like, you have to perform working hard. There you go, Random Linda. You know, you're watching Netflix, they come back, oh God, man, these files, man, these files. And they're like, you're still working on them files? Oh yeah, I got to make sure they're perfect. And the minute they're leaving, you put your Netflix on again. Like, you just have to, oh my God, I hope I don't get canceled for that. You know, and always look serious when you're walking through the hall in corporate America. Always look like, whew, it's a long day. You know, always look like there's a lot going on with you. Because you just gotta perform. It's very performative. You gotta perform. You gotta perform. Anytime somebody comes to my desk, I'm like, good Lord, look at that. Oh my God, how many more files do I got to do? Oh my God. You know, when I got Vampire Diaries playing in the background, that's the only way. Because if you actually start working hard, a lot of times it's going to be a pet to threat situation. You know, I'm telling y'all, I know what I'm talking about. You just going in there working hard, get you fired. Okay. Because your manager, I'm telling you, they do that for compliance reasons. Exactly. It's sad. You're just trying to do your job and they feel like you're going to steal their job. Yeah, that's why you just do, and don't let people praise you too much and let it get to your manager. Oh, they'll get. And another thing I always tell for corporate America is separate sexes. Separate sexes. Men should work for women. Women should work for men. That's what I think works in corporate, because there's not that. It can still happen, but there's not really that competition, right? My boyfriend is Mexican, and he said the same in his trade, electrician. He does the groundwork, and then they get swapped out when it comes to the finish, where the top men see it and it's clean work. Exactly. They get swapped out. It's like a pyramid scheme. It's a pyramid scheme in there. First time having a male manager, and it's great. Yeah, women should work for men in corporate settings, and men should work for women. It always has to be the opposite. And then it depends on your work style. Like, for me as a woman, I have a very, very strong hustle. I really do. I have a very superb work ethic. And I've noticed that when I would work for women, they were intimidated by that and they would fire me for that. But when I worked for men, they would promote me. Women are more about likability. So when I would go to work, I don't want to be friends with my managers or supervisors. I don't want to be nobody's friend in here. I want to do my job, and I want to do it well, and I want to go home. Women don't allow that. When you work for a woman, she's not going to allow you to do your best job and go home. You have to be their friends. You have to, gossip with the girls on the floor. You have to go to happy hour on Fridays with them and talk about their boyfriend problems. You have to be a part of the group chat, right? You have to exchange numbers with them and be a part of this ongoing group chat of complaining, and when I would go to work, I didn't want to be a part of that. I'm like, I'm here to do my best. I want to do the best job I can, and I want to leave. And when I would work for a woman, that was not allowed. That was highly offensive to her. So then when I started working for men, outside of, like, let's say they're like trying to flirt or something like that, outside of that, they would kind of not be bothered by me wanting to be left alone, if that makes sense. If I would work for a female manager and I'm just quiet that day, it's an ongoing, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, is she not used to people just not talking? Like, why is that a bother to you? And I realize it's that women want a lot of emotional labor from women that work for them. You know, you have to be on all the time. You have to be smiling all the time. You have to be engaged with them all the time. You have to be gossiping with them all the time. And you can be a wonderful worker, but if you don't do all of that, they will fire you. That's what I've noticed. And I just don't work in that way. I can't work and talk at the same time. So when I'm working, I'm hyper focused on my work at that time. You know, I have my headphones on. I may have, something playing in the background like Vampire Diaries or a listening show or a fashion show or something like that playing in the background, or jazz or a podcast, but I cannot work and talk at the same time. And I feel like a lot of times when I would work for women, it was always social hour. And that's not what I come to work to do. I come to work to work. So regardless of how wonderful and clean cut my work was, I would always get fired. But then when I started working for men, it was allowed to be silent sometimes. I was allowed to not speak without my male manager thinking I hate him because I'm not talking a lot that day. I didn't have to deal with that kind of stuff. If anything, if I'm quiet, my male managers would walk past me and say, "Oh, Mel's quiet. I know she's working hard. She's probably working on a lot of stuff." And it would just be very light. So that's why I say with men, the reason I said men should work for women is because there was a time I had a job where it was me and my coworker. I was a woman and he was a man. We were both like 20, 22 at the time. And I noticed that my male manager was a lot harder on him than he was on me. My male manager would I would make a teeny tiny mistake. He'd be like, "Oh, whatever, Mel, you're fine. You're fine. You look beautiful today. You're fine." But with him, if he made a mistake, my male manager would blow it out of proportion. And that's when I started realizing I don't think men should really work for men in particular, because there's that hyper competitiveness and that ego battle. So I noticed, why is he so mean to him? And I started to feel bad because my male manager was very hard on him, harder than he was on me. So the men will tend to be softer on the women, and the women will tend to be softer on the men. Not all the time, obviously, but majority of the time. Right? With a lot of men, there's that ego rivalry. They think it's the Barbie movie. Okay, yeah, I don't want to, not to be funny, but I had a gay male manager and a lot of female coworkers. It was terrible. He was always creating drama between us and showing favoritism. Me either. Women don't allow that. It's very draining. I don't want to be your friend. I find women a bit more problematic in corporate settings. So true. They think it's the Barbie movie and all the Barbies have to say, "Hi, Barbie. Let's go, Barbie. What's up, Oh, no, 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 no. I have a migraine just repeating that. That's too much for me. That's too much stimulation for me. I have to be left alone when I work. Like, the door is closed when I work. I need to be left alone when I work. And I have a small little light on and it's dark in the room and you see me clicking through the computer. I can't do all that stimulation. I tried to be cool with people there within reason, not ever again. Well, it's corporate America is like a chess game. You have to know certain rules. I always tell men to try to aim for working for women, and I always tell women to aim for working for men. Women are not going to come at a man the way they would come at a woman. And a man is not going to come at a woman the way he would come at a man. So if you keep that in the back of your mind, the man will be sweeter to the woman he works with, and the woman will be sweeter to the man. Like, I would watch female managers be so sweet to the guys on the floor. So sweet, so warm. Anytime he would say, "Hey, I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks and I get these 3 days off." "Oh, of course, baby, of course." But the minute it's us and we're like, "Hey, we need some days off," it's a fight, it's a battle. And then when I started to realize that, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I see what's going on here." And it's the same thing with guys. When a when a man works for another man, that man is like, he's like trying to crush you in a way into submission. So when men work for women, it's a little easier. When women work for men, it's lighter a lot of times. You know, this person is saying, I work for all women. Yes, they do. What do you mean by that, Isaiah Limit? Gay white men, especially when you're not the chatty patty black woman. I've never worked for one, so I don't know. I never worked for one, so I don't know. But when you're working, it's like you have to kind of know these invisible rules. Like, you got to know how to play the game and take preventative measures. Like, I work for all women, just as deceitful. Well, a lot of times with the women, it's the gossip. It's the gossip thing. It's a lot of gossip and a lot of lying. So, for example, I remember there was a time I was working and I had this schedule, and I got a text from one of the young ladies, and she said, "Hey, we don't need you to come in today because, you know, it's not like a full book, so we're not really having anybody come in today. We, the managers, will just handle the floor." Now, my experience with female managers and male managers have a lot of data behind them because I've been working since I was 15. My first job was at Panera Bread. So there's not a gender or demographic that I haven't worked for 9 times out of 10. I've worked for white male, white female, Spanish female, Asian female, Indian male. Like I've Russian, like I'm in Miami. So it's a melting pot here. Everybody's here. So 9 times out of 10, I know what I'm going to get a lot of times, especially based on the person's background. So I have a very full resume. I've been working for a very long time. I know how women operate in corporate and I know how men operate. And what a lot of women do is they think that because there's gossip and manipulation, many women don't fact check. Remember the word fact check from Real Housewives? How gossip would start in the group and it's because nobody fact checked, and women would say, well, why didn't you just come to me and ask me, and I would have told you if that wasn't true or not. A lot of times women don't fact check. They hear something and they run with it. Oh, she's talking about me, they run with it. Instead of asking the young lady, hey, did you say this about me? This person, they don't really do that. They take it, they get mad, and they run with it. So a lot of times what female managers would do is they would assume that they are going to tell you something, you're just going to believe it and run with it, right? So when she told me, oh, we don't need anybody on the floor today, it's not that busy, so us managers are going to handle it, I didn't believe her. So what I did was I called my other 2 coworkers and I told them, hey, are y'all going in today? And they're like, yeah, we're going in at 4. So she lied, right? But again, I'm always going to fact check because, again, I know the differences between the two. So then I called the big boss. I called him and I let him know what was happening. And I said, she's like manipulating my schedule. I don't really know why. She told me verbatim, and I have the text message here. I sent you a screenshot of it. She told me that everything was busy today and that I didn't have to come in because nobody was going to be on the floor. But that's not true because there are 2 people there right now, which means she's lying. And she got in a lot of trouble for that because, again, it's a lot of times when women are dealing with women, they use gossip and lies and they think the woman is automatically going to believe it. But I'm not one of those women. Like once something hits my ears, I have to validate if it's true or not. I don't automatically believe it and run with it. Right? So it's a lot of scheming and stuff. The men are a bit sassy and fierce these days. They are competing with the women. That can be true too, but for the industry that I'm in, it's a lot of like top tier masculine alpha guys. So they don't see women as competitors. They love you, right? Because they're doing so much, they're making so much. They don't really compete with you. Had a job interview today from the corporate Spartan Masterclass. Asked the manager the performance enhancer question to capture the covert narc boss, and he said it was an inappropriate question. What performance enhancer? Can you give me an example? The best boss I ever had was a male manager. And then I got moved to a different department with female boss who constantly harassed me. I said, what's a recent instance in which a team member was not performing to the level of excellence desired, and how you as a leader assisted them in enhancing performance? He said it was inappropriate. He said it was inappropriate because he's a narcissist. You dodged a massive bullet. He's a manager. So if somebody's not performing up to your level of requirement, it's your job as a manager to address the team member and get them where you need them to be, right? Get them where you need them to be. Now, if you try to get them where you need them to be and they don't get there at all, then of course you get rid of them. So he's the type of boss that will fire you without even letting you know what you do wrong. That's why he felt like that question was inappropriate. It's easy. The way that I curate classes and questions is so that you can trap people like that. So, a woman or a man is a narcissistic boss when they don't tell you what you're doing wrong. You just wake up and you're not on the schedule. Or you just wake up and you're fired. And they have a list of complaints and you're like, why didn't you tell me that you didn't like how I put that together? Why didn't you say anything? They don't say anything because they don't have conflict resolution skills. And the number one sign that a leader or a manager is developmentally arrested in their teenage years is a lack of conflict resolution skills. If you don't like the way somebody is doing something, you give them the opportunity to change it. You don't just fire people. Because they may be doing good at these 8 things, but they're a little shaky at these 2 things. And if you point them in the right direction, they can still do well, but you don't have the patience. That's another sign. Those bosses don't have patience. They want everybody to be perfect. Everybody that comes in, because if they have to tell you what you did wrong, that means that they have to address you, which most narcissists don't know how to do. They rather scheme. So how is that an appropriate question? How is somebody asking you, what's a recent instance in which a team member was not performing to the level of excellence desires, and how did you as a leader assist them in that performance? That is not an inappropriate question. When you're going to an interview, they're interviewing you and you're interviewing them. It's a two-way interview because that's a job that you're going to dedicate yourself to. Okay? They say, how is that inappropriate? So that's another sign that that person may be narcissistic, because nobody's asking you about your drawers or panties. They're asking you about the way that you lead. How do you find that inappropriate? How is that inappropriate? So you dodge the bullet right there. He's not a good manager. He's not a leader. He's a dictator. You do one thing wrong, he's not going to tell you what it is. He's going to fire you. You're going to be out of a job. That's not a good leader. Every good leader I had would point out every mistake I made and would give me an opportunity to fix it. And they would retrain me if they had to. They would always give me an opportunity to fix it. A lot of these managers, they're lazy. They want to collect their 6 figures a year while sitting on their behinds doing nothing. They don't want to develop a solid team. If someone's doing something wrong, you help them. If someone is not understanding something in the job, you help them. If someone's shaky in an area, you help them or you move them. Maybe they're not that good in this department, but they'll be great in that department. But a lot of people are not leading, they're dictating. So a dictator is always going to get offended by you asking them a question on how they helped another person, because they don't help other people. They just fire them. He described it as inappropriate because he's a narcissist. They're so easy to catch. They're so easy to catch. They're so easy to catch. Nothing is worse than having a boss or manager that does not give you an opportunity to change. I remember I had a friend close to me a couple years ago. This is when I was in college, years and years ago. I was a freshman in college, and she literally called me crying. She got fired. She was working at a juice bar, and she said, they just fired me. Like, I worked there for 2 days. They just fired me. They did not tell me why. They didn't tell me what was wrong. I told her, you dodged a massive volcano. That's not a good leader. A good leader is going to pull you to the side and tell you what you're doing wrong so you can give them an opportunity to fix it. That's in life. There's no man or woman who's no longer in my life that I didn't tell them what they were doing that was bothering me and gave them an opportunity to fix it. So when they didn't fix it, I got rid of them. But I let you know how you were affecting me because you are at least owed to know what you're doing wrong. What I've noticed about people who have like narcissistic personalities is they're terrible communicators. They don't know how to communicate with people. If someone is doing something wrong, tell them. If nobody's going to read your mind, but because narcissistic people have a lot of psychological mind games they play with people, they want you to read their mind. So a narcissistic boss and manager is going to be quiet and be cold with you and be short with you and be manipulating your schedule for weeks and weeks, dropping you off shifts. And you're like, what is happening? They don't give you any insight. They don't let you know anything because they want you to figure them out because they're developmentally arrested and narcissistic. I had this manager a couple years ago when I was 18. I told her, I respect you. She pulled me to a room and closed the door. She didn't address me in front of other people. She pulled me into a room and closed the door and told me exactly what I was doing wrong. She said, Mel, I want you to get it together. I don't want to fire you. I actually like you as a person. Please get it together. And she gave me an opportunity to change my performance. She said, I really like you. I'm going to be honest with you. I really, really, really like you. I think you're smart. You're just a little scattered. I know you're in college. I know you're partying. I know you're having your fun, as you should. But when you're in here, you need to be on your P's and Q's. And we never had to have that conversation again because I fixed it. And that's also the difference between good people and bad people. Bad people want you to figure things out and they want you to flunk. Good people will give you an opportunity to soar. Okay. He just said, oh, well, default the policies and procedures and open communication, then quickly rush to close the interview. He quickly rushed to close the interview because he cannot handle confrontation. He cannot handle dialogue. He cannot handle being questioned. In his mind, he's perfect. That's a narcissist right there. A narcissistic boss and pastor leader, they think that they're perfect. So there's nothing you can question them about. There's nothing you can ask them about. They're perfect. How dare you ask me? How do I help an employee get better? When that's the whole point of their job, is to help people do better. A boss is there to develop a solid team. When there was a time I was getting ready to leave a job a couple of years ago, I had a female boss at this time, very passive aggressive. And I told her straight up, I said, I can't read your mind. It's like, you want me to read your mind. And that's one of the number one things I put on my skill set on my resume is I'm a good communicator. So if you can't tell me what I'm doing wrong, I can't figure it out because I'm not psychic. So I need to know what I'm doing. If you don't tell me, then what's the point of me being here? I'm not going to succeed because I'm not even told what I'm doing wrong. And of course, during that conversation, she felt like a child because she was acting like a child. She doesn't know how to communicate. That's a sign that she is very developmentally arrested because she cannot tell her team what they're doing wrong. She just fires people. So when I was working in HR, I would know which boss was like super like narcissistic and not fully narcissistic. You guys know, I'm not talking about diagnosed NPD, but they have those traces. And every time they would bring a complaint to me about a employee, I would say, okay, did you let them know about this? And that's always the first question that I have to ask, because a lot of them, they don't. They just start reporting the employee behind the scenes. They don't say anything. And when they would bring it to me, I would say, okay, before I put it in, have a conversation with them. Once you've confirmed that conversation with them has been had, then I'll put the document in, because you're not giving them a fair chance. You're going behind their back and you're pulling the rug from under their feet. So instead of addressing them, that's because lazy bosses don't address employees because they're lazy. They want their job to be super easy. They don't want to deal with conflict. So when you're dealing with a lazy boss, it's like pulling teeth for them to address their own employees. So they throw it on HR and they want us to have the hard conversations. And I'm not going to get yelled out and cursed out by somebody, and I'm not even their boss. It is your job to address them about their performance and why you don't like it. And now when that doesn't work and things escalate, you then bring it to HR. But they don't want to do that. Managers want HR to do their jobs for them. They want HR to go through applications. I had this back and forth with a lady a couple of months ago where I told her, I said, I don't go through applications. I send you new applications that come in. You go through the applications. I schedule the interview. Because a lot of the managers, they're lazy. They want to drink coffee and have Dunkin' Donuts and gossip all day. They don't want to work, you know? So you have to pay attention. I had a coworker who was battling lupus and missed work because surgery and recovery. Okay. Our boss complained to HR about her missing days. The boss made it seem like it was okay and focus on getting well. Narcissistic boss. He or she. Is it he or she? Narcissist. Narcissist. I quit my last job to come on with a new company. The lady I work for, I helped her jumpstart her business as the only one working for her, and she always trying to dictate, tries to make me do it all. She never keeps her word when we agree on things. Yeah. It's hard. It's definitely a challenge. It's a lot of, and then you got to look at the way that you work, like for me, the way that I work, I don't, I'm very structured, right? So if I'm working for a manager or a leader who's scattered, we end up butting heads, right? This reminds me of that episode with Ayanla and the Braxton family. When the Braxton family came in 4 hours late and Ayanla left, and Ayanla said that because you guys don't keep your promises to yourselves in life, you guys think you're going to do the same thing with me. Because in life, so within, so without. So people who don't keep promises to themselves cannot keep promises that they make to other people. So, because they don't even do it for themselves. So for me, the way that I work, I had this one boss one time, she was a mess. And we would plan meetings. And let's say the meetings was for 12. Around 12 o'clock, I would call, we would all be sitting there waiting for her. She never showed up. So I would have to tell the people to go home because she didn't show up. And then she would come back at 1:30 and say, all right, you guys, I'm almost there. We're going to start the meeting. And I told her everybody left. She would come to the office and I'm like, everybody left. And I'm like packing my bag. And she's like, oh, well, can they come back? I said, why would they come back? Why would they come back? I said, you had an agreement to meet with them at 12. The world doesn't, I knew I was going to quit that day. So I kind of just told her about herself because I knew I wasn't coming back. I told her the world doesn't revolve around you. I think that you're highly, highly confused about how life works. The world does not revolve around you. And I know it's hard for you to process that because a lot of times when we talk about narcissism amongst men and women, this is why when women complain about men, a lot of times I stay silent because men and women are one and the same. They may show up differently, but they're one and the same. Both entitled, both think the world revolves around them, both think everything is about them, both want things when they want it. Men, that's why they can't get along. That's why 50% of marriages end in divorce. It's because it's two people that cannot respect the opposite party. They're one and the same. I told her, I said, the world doesn't revolve around you. So everybody here showed up for a meeting that you scheduled, right? People left their children with a sitter to come here for a meeting you scheduled. People canceled appointments to come to an emergency meeting you scheduled. You don't show up and what? I'm supposed to call them and have them do a U-turn? I said, don't disrespect me. Please don't. Please don't. Don't disrespect me and my time. And I'm telling you this because I'm leaving. I'm giving you your keys right now. Please don't disrespect me like that. The world does not revolve around you. It is disrespectful for you to waste people's time. I even tell women this, even when they book calls on me. Your call is for 12. You show up at 1:30, I'm not on the Zoom anymore. Your call was for 12. And if you are respectful, you would have the decency to send an email and let the person know that you will not be able to make it. That is a female narcissist in the making. The world revolves around you. You schedule a meeting with your staff at 12. You don't show up till 2. So that everybody's supposed to wait on you. And she told me, oh, well, I had a lot going on. I said, but I don't care and they don't care. We made it here. We have things going on too. You're not the only one with things going on. We have things going on too. And we made it here, and we all waited for you for an hour, and you never showed up. So there is no meeting, and you have no assistant because I'm leaving. Gave her her keys, never spoke to her again. Because the way that I see it, when people don't respect your time, they don't respect you. And another thing I've noticed about people who have narcissistic traces in their personality is they don't respect people's time. I remember my old pastor, she talked about this. She said, anybody who doesn't respect people's time is selfish. I was 15 years old sitting in a service when she said this. She said, anybody who doesn't respect people's time is a selfish person. Anybody. So people who show up an hour late, show up 2 hours late, show up when they feel like it, show up to your event when it's half over, show up to your event in the middle of it. I remember I was having somebody close to me plan a wedding. On the card, I make sure I put the wedding starts at 12. If you show up to the parking lot at 12:30 and you cannot get in, you will be locked out. You can meet us at the reception. The ceremony starts at 12. You show up at 12:30, you think you're going to be bothering the bridal party, blowing people's phones up, inconveniencing people because you can't stick to a time. Go ahead, drive over to the reception area, hang out in the parking lot for a couple of hours, and wait till cocktail hour, because we are not going to annoy people, inconvenience people. We're not going to stop anything for you. We're not going to wait. If you don't make it on time, you will wait till the reception. Sometimes people have ADHD, which causes them to have a poor perception of time. I understand, Sabrina, but that's still an excuse. You're still making an excuse. I know a man, he's a multimillionaire, one of the biggest developers, and he has ADHD. One thing women are going to bring to your door is excuses. That's for sure. You can bet that. That's why a lot of women, it's hard for them to obtain power, because it's always an excuse of some sort. I know somebody right now, he's a multi-millionaire developer, developing hotels all over. He is ADHD. He's been ADHD since he was a toddler. So please don't bring me an excuse. I tell him every day, how do you have ADHD and you were able to accomplish this? He said, Mel, I take my meds, I do my therapy, and I have to plan things the day before, make sure my calendar is on top of things, because me being ADHD is not an excuse for me to screw up contracts. I tell women, don't bring your excuses to me. I can't. Don't bring them to me. Look at the results of your life as a result of the constant excuses that you have. Your life is a result of the constant excuses that you make for yourself, men and women alike. I cannot deal with the excuses. That guy has had ADHD since he was a child. I have never encountered somebody as structured and orderly as him. He gets there before I do. He's always on top of it. Calendar in his phone all the time, because I know I'm going to forget. So let me mark this off. Let me set my alarms. That is a woman bringing me an excuse. I quit my job. So what, you're going to tell your manager, oh, I'm always late because I have ADHD? You're going to get fired. That's not their problem. They're not going to see it that way. I quit my last job to come on with a new company. The lady I read that already. Thank you for explaining this, Mel, because even though I felt sad after that interview, it didn't sit right with my spirit, and I wanted to raise it with you. What didn't sit right with your spirit? I feel my boss says just enough to keep us pacified, but feels like they're going above and beyond while we literally struggle to be healthy. Mel, please, can you do another Human Nature part 2, because it was too deep? Oh, that class? Okay, yeah, I'll probably do a part 2. My narc boss didn't send her condolences after they don't care about your losses. They just want you to work. That's how they are. See, mine said sorry for your loss, but then went ahead and requested an obituary. Oh my God. Hello, Mel. Hello, chat. Not sure if this was covered already, but Mel, what do you think about gossip blogger Perez Hilton? I don't know. I saw a little clip of it, but you like the Human Nature class? Thank you. Do you think it says karma? I don't know. I didn't see anything of that. I have to go look at it. I love when I'm watching you and get called out. I'm not trying to purposefully do it, and I'm actively working it because I don't like disrespecting people's time. Hey, Mel, wonderful live. I like your thoughts. I work security, a private event for Guy. He gaslit and didn't pay me. His client foreshadowed issues saying, yo, the glasses are, Did you have a contract or something written in stone? Are you an independent contractor? You're going to have to go after him because he has to pay you. He can't not pay you. Sorry, you guys, that's my stomach growling. Absolutely. Men are women, women and women are men. That's why they hate each other. Men and women are mirrors of each other. They're one and the same. They're the same people. They're the same people. They just show up differently, but they're the same people. You want to see a woman's selfishness? Have her as a boss, have her as a friend, or have her as a mother. Then the woman's selfishness is going to come out. Look at how women treat their friends. Disposable. No respect, no regard. They're one and the same. Selfish and self-centered. Just like the men. One and the same. So mothers are selfish. Not all mothers, but a lot of mothers, they don't like their daughters. A lot of them don't like their daughters. Look at the way women treat their daughters. Look at the way they treat their friends. Look at the way they treat their employees. It's a lot of selfishness going on. A lot. So men and women are one and the same. They're not that different. They're not that different. They're not that different. They're not that different. And as I'm getting older, that's why I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going to have to switch up the content and make it super gender neutral, because I feel like it's both genders. It's both. It's both. It's both. So having a boss that is respectful of people's time, respectful of people's seasons, gives you an opportunity to be better, to do better, to show up better, to tell you what you're doing wrong. Hey, you're doing a great job, but there's one little thing that I think you may need to work on. Come over here. Let me show you how to do it. You're dealing with a good boss when your boss is always telling you, let me show you how to do it. That is a good boss's favorite phrase. It's, come, let me show you how to do it. They always want to show you how to do things better. They want to show you how to do things in a new way. They're always trying to show you new ways of doing things because they want you to succeed. A narcissistic boss wants you to work. They don't want you to succeed. There's a difference. So when they would bring complaints in HR, I would say, did you speak to this associate about this and give them a chance to make a change? Because when I get on the phone with them, I'm not going to fire them because they don't even know what they're doing wrong, and that's not fair. I'll tell them what you wrote, but it's going to make you guys have a friction in your bond as an employee and a boss, because they're going to think you're shady because you went behind their back. A real boss doesn't go behind an employee's back. A mature boss tells the employee to, like my boss told me, Mel, I don't want to fire you. I don't want to. I actually thought about it. This was years ago when I was in college. She's like, I really thought about it. I'm not going to lie. But I said, let me have a conversation with her first and see if she'll make the change. And I will forever respect her for that, because she was straight up with me. So a good boss will be straightforward with you. They'll give you an opportunity to do better. And that's not even just bosses. That's relationships, friendships. Like, people will tell you what you're doing wrong, what they don't like, and you now have an opportunity to change it. So that's kind of what I've learned over time, is like, leading is very different than dictating. So Perez Hilton was, he was cutting himself on live. I don't know. A lot of times that stuff is like people doing spell work on people's mind to like get them to off themselves. A lot of times that stuff is like a root of some sort. When people start having these mental crashes like that, a lot of times it's somebody that's like trying to manipulate their energy. It is a lot of times the person's trying to attack their mind and get them to attack themselves. If I can't physically attack you, they'll just turn you into an alcoholic or something. Like they will literally try to attack your mind and attack your mental health. That's why if you're a public figure, you're online and stuff like that, you have to have a very aggressive prayer life because they will plant thoughts in your mind to get you to do that to yourself. Look at what happened to Wendy Williams. That was a root, that they threw at her. Like it's the same thing with Nara Smith and her daughter. It's just people who want to get rid of people, but they want to keep their hands clean. So they try to use spiritual forces to get the job done for them. Okay. A lot of celebrities are in front of a lot of people. So if they're not covering themselves, their minds can start to drastically get attacked. A lot of that stuff is spiritual. That's why I say I haven't seen it. I'll look at it, but that's probably what it is. And sometimes he could have said something that got somebody upset. It could have been some type of gossip that got somebody upset. And they said, oh, okay, you're going to go online and talk about me negatively. Watch this. And then they throw something at you. You're one of the only people that acknowledge that both men and women have negative qualities. Most others act like they are innocent angels. No. Men and women both have negative qualities. Men are not worse than men, and women are not worse than men. They are equally damaging to society if they're not evolved. So it's just the truth of what I'm seeing. It's both of them that are like that. It's a graphic video. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. But Tyra Spalding. Oh, is she the one that also offed herself? Yeah, a lot of people that are in public figures that off themselves, a lot of times it's somebody threw at them, at their mind, to get them to attack themselves. So you have to have a strong prayer life, and you have to think about your thoughts. Like, what am I thinking? Why am I thinking this thought? Why is this thought in my mind? Why am I feeling this feeling? Who planted this feeling in my mind? They thought Nara's life was too perfect, too many evil eyes on her. I hate to open up those can of worms, but majority of the hate Nara Smith would get is from Black women. I always say Black women have to do a lot of shadow work on themselves so that they don't attack other Black women in very gruesome ways. Other nationalities of women, of course, because of racism and stuff, may attack Black women, but Black women attacking Black women, that's a whole other massive monster that I don't understand. Like, shouldn't you be in solidarity? Because you kind of don't, the other races don't have you back. So it's very weird. And I feel like the same thing that they do to Nara is exactly what they do to Jackie Aina. It's really strange. It's really jealousy is the root of it. Nara Smith would rub people in the wrong ways. She's married to, her husband is gorgeous. I mean, let's just be honest. Lucky should be on the front of every Calvin Klein magazine. He's a very attractive young man. She's an attractive woman. They have beautiful babies. And people don't want that life for a Black woman. They don't want you to have something like that. So when you post it, it's going to aggravate people on a higher scale, you know? So with a lot of hatred from her own community, from other communities, it's crazy. You know, he's jealousy and envy, it hurts on a different level when it's a Black woman hating on a Black woman. Yeah, that's why I always say, and I talk about that in the Bronze Babe tribe, I always say Black women have to do shadow work, lots of shadow work, and ask yourself, Why do I feel inclined to attack a Black woman? Why is that my first instinct? You have to ask yourself, why do you feel the need to do that? It's weird. You've got to go and do some shadow work. I have never seen a Black woman that is succeeding and doing well and felt like I needed to destroy her in some way. I'm not unwell. So again, it's shadow work. Jackie Aina isn't all innocent. She be wanting to be the only Black girl in the room. With the Painted by Esther situation, she took the other person's side than the Black girl. So Jackie Aina didn't take anyone's side. I saw that scenario. She didn't even know that Painted by Esther, that Patrick Ta took Painted by Esther's design. She didn't know. She was doing a regular video of, from what I remember, a regular video of the blushes. I don't even think that she knew, but because they hate Jackie Aina so bad, everything she says and does is going to be a problem. I think that, I hate to go there, Jackie Aina marginalized herself a lot. So when you marginalize yourself a lot as a Black woman, you're not allowed to grow. I think people want Jackie Aina to be the same Jackie, in her bedroom doing her makeup, and she's outgrown that. She's not that anymore. She's a massive brand now. And I think a lot of her old supporters cannot process how much growth she's had. And it's almost like they want to punish her for that increase that she has received. Jackie Aina has the confidence levels of a regular non-Black woman. That's the way I see it. I think people still cannot process that level of confidence on a Black woman. If Jackie Aina was not Black, if she was white or Hispanic, I highly doubt people would have the amount of issues with her that they have. Okay? And she has a lot of boundaries too. I don't think Jackie took anybody's situation, because she never said, I'm on Patrick's side, and she never said, I'm on Esther's side. She was just like, why am I being attacked all of a sudden? She didn't know. I don't even think she knew. Right? And again, that's another thing too that I'm noticing is because Jackie Aina is Black, she's expected to automatically stand up for Painted by Esther. But what about the other white and Hispanic makeup content creators that posted the blush? Why not attack them? You're attacking Jackie because she's expected to stand up for Painted by Esther because they're both Black. But Jackie's not the only one that posted the blush. That's the thing. There are other makeup artists who are big online like her that also posted. Why just go after Jackie? Why is Jackie always expected to be the freedom fighter? Because she marginalized herself. That's why. So whatever goes on, she's expected to stand. I don't even think that she knew that they had an issue. She just wanted to post blush. I don't think she knew anything about it. And people automatically painted her as, you are supposed to stand. That's not fair. That is not fair. That's not fair. I don't think that's fair. That's the way I see it. Because I didn't understand the attack. I'm like, okay, well, did she stand up and say, I'm with Patrick Ta? I didn't see her take a stance for him. That's the problem. I didn't see that. I didn't see her take a stance for him. I think that she was just posting a video, and it happened to be during the time that they were having a back and forth. I don't even think she knew. I don't really think that she really got involved. And like she said, it's not her business. And she's right. It's not her business. It's not. She's being marginalized. It's not her business. Marginalizing yourself is when you limit yourself to only one community. That's what marginalizing yourself is. So when you marginalize yourself, like for example, I tell people, if you're a business owner, don't put women-owned business. Don't put Black-owned business. Don't put Christian-owned business. When you do that, you're marginalizing yourself. So because your hair studio is a Christian-owned business, Now, what you're going to do is you're going to have certain expectations from that community that they shouldn't have from you because you marginalized yourself. She marginalized herself. So because she marginalized herself, anything that has to do with attacking a Black person, Jackie Aina is expected to be in the front row because she marginalized herself. That's just my personal opinion. That's why when people come to me for business advice, I say, please don't put woman-owned business, because you want to be able to do business with everybody, correct? So take woman-owned off. Don't put Black-owned business. You want to service everybody, right? Yes. Okay, so remove that. Those are all limits and caps that you're putting on yourself. Christian-owned business. I'm a Christian. I tell people, remove that. Stop putting Christian-owned personal trainer. Are you only going to train Christians? Or do you want to train everybody? I want to train everybody. Okay, so then why are you marginalizing yourself? So because Jackie Aina was highly marginalized, she is expected to always show up even when something doesn't have anything to do with her, simply because she's Black. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. That's what I see. That's what I saw. They attacked her in the most gruesome ways. If they attacked all the other makeup artists that posted his stuff, I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm not agreeing with him, but I'm talking about the situation with Jackie. If they also held the other makeup artists accountable, I would say, okay, they only held Jackie accountable because she's marginalized. And to get out of that, when you start your brand off like that, it's very hard to escape that. It's hard to escape that because you've built it like that. Right? So if you're like a Christian-owned trainer or designer, the minute you design a dress for Paris Hilton, the Christians are going to chew you up in the comments because you've marginalized yourself as a Christian-owned designing company. So if you design a dress for Paris Hilton or Melania Trump, you're going to get chewed up because why are you designing a dress for a non-Christian person? I don't do businesses that way. I don't marginalize myself. I am not a freedom fighter for any specific group. I'm not marginalized to a specific group. I am here for everyone. That's how I run my business. Because I know the downsides of marginalizing yourself. You know? You have to think about stuff like that. And that's what she's fighting now. How does she get out of that bucket? It's going to be hard because that is how she started. That's why she posted that video. She said, if I have to be what did she say? She said, if I have to be an example for Black women and I have to keep getting bullied like this online, but then I don't want to be. Right? She even said it because that's what's going on with her. Those are, they bully her the most because she's marginalized. She put I don't know if she did it but maybe when she was, first starting, she got marginalized. So as a result of that, now they're expecting her to always stand and always involve herself with anything, even if it doesn't have anything to do with her, So for example, for me, I'm in a place in my life where I'm not going to just insert myself in things because that's another woman. I'm not going to just insert myself in things because we're both Caribbean. Like, I'm not going to be inserting based on things like that. I want to stay away from drama. If it has nothing to do with me, I'm going to probably stay out of it. With Jackie, it was them attacking her. It was weird. It was like a swarm of attacks on this lady. And it's like, if they were attacking everyone else that posted the blush, I would say, okay, they only attacked her. That's the only person they came for, was her. One of my favorite, content creators, she always says something that I love where she says, I'm not a freedom fighter for nobody. I'm here, I tell the truth and I get off. I'm not a freedom fighter for nobody. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not marginalized to any specific bucket. I'm not that. And I mean, think about the biggest massive brands you've ever known. They service everybody. There's not margin. When you marginalize, you limit yourself, which is why she wanted her fans to stop referring to her as Auntie Jackie. You see, because she's trying to get out of that box where she's no longer marginalized. That's what she's trying to fight, but it's really hard to get out of that box. you know? Now, I think that if Nara Smith was not married to Lucky, I don't think she would get that much hate on the internet. It's because she is, quote unquote, living the life that a lot of Black women are told that is not for them. That's the life that she gets to live. And it's a lot of jealousy to see that, it's a lot of jealousy to see that. So she didn't know any better. If she knew better, she would have never, her relationship, that's, I guess, people will see you, you're a modeling, everybody will see you. But I think that she exposed, you know, her kids and her pretty house and her cute outfits, and people don't like to see that if they're not happy in life. She did it to herself in the beginning, and she was the one that told us to call her Auntie Jackie. You see, she did it to herself. But around 2020, she started setting, exactly. She did it to herself, and now to undo that, I don't have an Amazon storefront, Sinyali, but I'm going to start one for you guys this week. I know I've been saying this for like 2 years. It's crazy. It's just, I did start an Amazon storefront, but for some reason it was connected to like my legal name. And I'm like, how did this happen? So I had to delete it and start all over again. So I keep like adding things, but I promise I'll get it to you guys, and I will have all of my nail colors. This is Berry Groove, Sinyali. This is Berry Groove, and I'll share all my nail colors on there too. She definitely needs a new audience. No, her audience is fine. If they're really for her, they're not going to be upset with her boundary, which I think we should respect, because I'm sure in the beginning she didn't know that she would become the poster child for Black women. That's the problem too. She's the poster child. So everything she does that they don't agree with, they're going to attack her. That's why she's always getting attacked. And I'm like, oh God, I could never go through that. That's just, she's marginalized. That's what happens. How can I protect my reputation at work? I'm introverted, and some coworkers who don't like me have been spreading false information about me. You can't change anybody's perceptions of you, Chaima. Don't even put yourself through that. That's not fair to you. Whoever is spreading lies about you, if people believe it, it's because they wanted to. It's not your job to change their perception. Yeah. What the internet does to Jackie Aina, it's like, I've never seen anything. It's so like saying that evil people hair don't grow. When she posts her fro, they'll say evil people hair don't grow. They'll call her a narcissist. I think that she got bigger than they thought she would. She got much bigger than they thought she would. So now there's that resentment there, and they're looking for that proximity with her, and they're not finding it. So now they have to label her, because she's no longer the Auntie Jackie. She is now Jackie Aina, a multi-million-dollar brand. And now that she's trying to switch gears, they're not allowing her to. So she has to fight that off and I guess stick to her boundaries now, and see. That's why it's important to not start off that way. Like anytime I'm dealing with, a business owner who's a Christian, I always ask them, why do you have Christian owned on your website? Why is that, dear? And then I ask them, are you only servicing Christians? Are you only personal training Christians? No. So when people go online and they see that banner, if they're a Muslim that wants to train with you, they're going to think, oh no. If they're a Jewish person that wants to train with you, they're going to think, because you just marginalized yourself right there. Remove that so your business can grow. I'm not saying to remove Christianity from you, but I'm just saying that when it comes to, you want to, invite other people, and then, you can intercede with them. You can pray for them. You can give them the gospel. That's completely fine. But don't marginalize yourself. Don't marginalize yourself. Don't do that. Don't marginalize yourself. So, for example, those time I got an email, and a young lady told me, she said, oh, I don't understand. Why do you have like non-Black women in your slideshows and on some of your thumbnails? I said, your Level Up Guru is not a channel only for Black women. That's nowhere on the advertisement. This channel is for everybody, men and women of all colors, races, genders. I have some men on the thumbnails. Like, what you're doing is you're trying to marginalize me. And that's something that I would never want to do to myself, because I don't believe in running businesses that way. Well, that's different. If it's a Christian digital product, that's different. But if it's a service that can be provided for everyone, I don't think you should marginalize yourself. That's just my opinion. Yeah, veteran owned, like all of that. I don't know. You're worried the false rumors can hurt your career? Oh, wow. Well, you can't stop them. You can confront them, but that may, make them even more angry, you know? 3 girls reported to senior management that I don't socialize with them, and it affects their productivity. Oh my God. That just made my blood boil. What does someone not interacting with you have to do with your productivity? You can't concentrate if somebody doesn't talk to you? Are we in preschool? Are we in preschool? If somebody doesn't talk to you, you can't do your work. How old are we? 9, 8, 9, 10? How old are we? Imagine somebody bringing that type of complaint to you as a boss. I would say, do you want this job? Yeah, get back to work. That's exactly how I would respond to a complaint like that. I wouldn't even entertain it because it sounds crazy. It literally sounds like insanity. You were called into a 3-hour meeting? Oh, girl, start looking for another job. And they do that to Black women all the time. Non-team player. I realize in corporate you have to document everything and keep timelines. You really do. Like, I cannot believe that they would complain about that, but then again, I can. But then again, I can. I realize in corporate you have to document. Yes. Yeah. It's just it's a lot. It's a lot of politics in life, you guys. And you'll get better over time. You'll learn more over time. It's a lot of politics in life. It's a lot of things that you have to learn. It's a lot of ways that you have to move, things you have to unlearn. A lot of things that people tell you and do towards you is a projection of some sort. So instead of them saying, I want access to her energy, they say, I can't work because she doesn't speak to me. Right? It's a projection. I have heard of the Alpine divorce, Gia. It's the men abandoning their women on the mountains. It's absolute insanity. If you do a great job, why should you have to socialize? That's the thing. They don't want her to socialize with them. They want her to be friends with them. I'm sure she tells them good morning and talks to them about the job. They want to be her friend. There is something about her essence that is attractive to them. They want to be friends with her. That's the thing. And that's when managers have to ask the right question. Okay, that's when managers have to ask, okay, do you want to be her friend? Because if you want to be her friend, that's out of my control. I'm not here to force her to be anyone's friend. I'm here to make sure she's doing a good job. It sounds like you want something more. If you want something more, that's up to her discretion. That's not up to me. But a lot of these managers are also toxic. So they side with that type of commentary. Sorry, I laughed at that comment. That's funny. She said, but some people don't speak due to their health issues. What about they got thyroid? That's true. That is so true. But some people, okay, you've been both an employee and an entrepreneur. What do you see as the main advantages and disadvantages of each? I think when you're an entrepreneur, you're going to work more. You're going to have probably more freedom, but you're going to have to work more. When you're working at a job, you kind of just go, you have your set hours and you leave. When you're an entrepreneur, you're working 24/7. You're never stop working. You barely have time to eat. You're always working. When you're an entrepreneur, sometimes you make business mistakes that you have to learn over time. You're constantly learning as an entrepreneur because you'll understand when it's a company that you work for, HR is to protect the company. When you're an entrepreneur, you don't have an HR. So you have to rely on your critical thinking skills to create policies that are there to protect you. But when you're an entrepreneur, you're always learning. Like you're constantly learning how to do business in a better way. You're constantly learning how to better your business. I'm definitely getting better and better and better and better and better, but I did make a lot of mistakes as well. So it's just making sure that those mistakes don't get repeated and making sure that I'm getting better overall, especially with time management. Balancing both, you got to manage your time and be very strict about things. It's a lot. It's a lot to juggle. You have to have a lot of grit. And it's a lot about protection, you know? Because when you're online, there's so many crazy like people and things, and you know, it's a challenge. But you just have to, watch your surroundings and be aware of things. But I don't know. I like being busy. I like having a lot to do. I like having a lot on my plate. I like being busy. So it balances out perfectly. Um, I can probably try to go out a little bit more, but I'm always thinking about what is the next thing that I need to do. Because that's like my Achilles heel is I love to work and I love to create. I'm a creator. I love to create. I love to work. And I think the only downside is I can be a little bit of a workaholic. That's something that people the closest to me complain about. They're like, we don't ever see you. Like, where are you? We never see you. Like, and sometimes people tell me that you work a little bit too much. And it's like, you're getting so small as a result of that. It's because I don't have a lot of time to eat. And that's a downside. I'm a little bit of a workaholic, but I get that from my father. Like, we work a lot. We like to work. I get that from my dad. We love to work. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot. I can honestly say that some days I think about the responsibility and I'm like, oh my God, I have so much on my plate. Like, how am I going to balance all this? And I keep adding more because I feel like life is so freaking short. And because of that, I want to make sure everything gets done. I'm in sales and it's commission based, but I'm questioning if it's for me or if I should find a new job opportunity. What would you recommend? Start doing some research. Why don't you try tech? I heard tech is great for women. I had 3 jobs in nursing school. Like, some women just like to work and people call us like masculine. Like that's like what we just like it. Like, it's like a release for us, like going to the gym. Like, I love pulling out my notebook and writing in it. I love the rush. I just love it. Like, I could not imagine like sitting all day doing nothing. That is not my goal in life. I like to do a lot. So the downside is you're working 24/7. Even in the middle of the night, sometimes you're like, oh wow, I got a couple emails. What is this? Like, you're always working all the time. You don't have a lot of time. That's another thing. Um, you may sometimes not have to spend as much time with your family as you used to because you're working a lot. If you're dating can become a challenge because dating takes from you. Like, being in a relationship, it takes from you. It does. And if it's not the right one, it's going to take too much and then you're going to feel like I feel better without this. So it's a lot of challenges, but it's still worth it. It's still worth it. And doing a good job. Yes, it's beautiful to see your work come to life. Relationships suffer. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times it's like I gotta explain to my family. I'm like, they're like, where have you been? Like, are you here? Like, do you still live here? I'm like, yeah. They're like, you're always busy. Like, you don't stay on the phone for like more than 2 minutes and you're like rushing off. Because I got stuff to do. I'm like building my fortress. Like I'm working. Staying feminine is a challenge. Yeah, I think that's true too. I'm pretty feminine presenting, but yeah, you are in your masculine a lot when you work and you have more independence, so you're less tolerable. Um, but nursing took away some of my joy of working because of the abuse from people. It can be abusive. They make you work a lot. But anyways, you guys, I'm getting whoa, this was a long live. Whoa, almost 4 hours? No. Oh my God. I haven't done long lives like this in a long time. Well, I'm kind of happy. I haven't done a 3 hour, almost 4 hour live in a long time. I love you guys, first and foremost. Love you guys. I'm going to be signing off, announcements. Put out a good video yesterday. If you guys didn't see it, definitely watch it. I'm about Ariana Grande. You guys follow me on TikTok, Your Level Up Guru. Instagram, I need to get on posting on that page, Your Level Up Guru. Classes, the bundle for this month of August is on the website, yourlevelupguru.net. Archetypes Part 2, Spiritual Warfare Part 3. That's this Sunday. If you're gonna join on the class, be prepared to be there for a couple of hours. My classes are long because they're very informative. So pen and paper, notebook, lots of notes to take on this class and the next class. Be prepared to come in and be ready to learn. There's a lot of slides. And what else? What else do I have? Amazon list. I'm going to try to get that done for you guys. Every time I do it, it just keeps connecting to like my personal name and personal address. I'm trying to figure out how to change that. I sent them an email, but I didn't hear back from them. But I really want to get that Amazon list done because I want you ladies and gentlemen to have it, especially the ladies for like all the beauty products and stuff that I use. But I'm going to try again today to see if I can get it done. Thank you guys. Thank you, Gia. I'm getting off. God bless you.